Good evening, everyone. Do we have any seats up here? There may be one or two. Are you holding that seat for someone? Yeah, there's a 2 or 3 seats up front if somebody want to face me face to face. Or if you want to stay back there, you can. Well, good evening.
You already asked Mr. Scott to help some people come up.
Mr. Scott, yeah. Bring up at least 3 or 4 people. Those that, here comes 2 right here. I'll just wait for a minute until they're seated. Okay, we still have at least 2 or 3 more, I think.
2 seats.
There's 2 agenda and 6 non-agenda.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we have 2 more coming? I said 3 more coming. Yes. Right here. You know, front seats cost more, but we're going to let you have it on a discount. Don't worry. Okay, so good evening again, everyone, and welcome to the Moreno Valley Unified School District regular meeting of the Board of Education. These proceedings are being audio taped pursuant to Government Code Section 54953.5 and broadcast on Channel 16 and live streamed and archived on the district website. I'm sure you guys have that one. So at this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order. The Board of Education opened the meeting at 7:02 p.m. 7:06 p.m. Okay. The Board of Education convened at 7:06 p.m. And let me just turn to my right page where I'm supposed to be here. Yeah. Can I please get a roll call? I should have followed my own instructions. Can I get a roll call, please?
Serene Manuel, Student Board Representative from Valley View High School.
Jesus Holguin present.
Susan Smith, present. Gary Baugh, present.
C.J. Johnson, present.
Martin Rex Kedzior present.
Robert Verdi, present.
Tina Dagnall, present.
Maribel Maddox, present.
And Mr. Evan Marging has an excuse absent. Okay, public comments on employment pursuant to Government Code 54957. No, we're not going to do those right now. Yes, no, back over here. Okay, so report out on closed session. We had discussions were held and direction given on closed session items on 2 candidates that we will be voting on later on in the meeting. One of the things that we're doing whenever we have some new candidates who are going to be hired, we found that once we acknowledge them, sometimes some of them, not the people that's here now, they leave. So we're going to make them, or we're going to have them to stay just a little bit longer to hear good portions of the meeting. Okay, so at this time, we'd like to, yeah, is that right? Thank you for that, that's right. So let's please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, going to be led to us, with us by Serene Manuel.
Please place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the inspiration. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world, and that's by Nelson Mandela.
Now, I'd like to ask you all to have a moment of silence as we reflect upon our good friend, who's the board president, C.J. Johnson, whose wife passed away 2 days ago. And so if you would just have a moment of reflection. Thank you very much. I'll take over a couple of items, and then I'll turn it back over to Mr. Johnson. You may be seated. I wanted to say a word about Barbara Johnson. She was a great woman and a leader in her own right. She was very supportive of her husband and his dedication to the students of the Moreno Valley Unified School District. She was a very kind lady, and we miss her greatly. And I just felt that you needed to be aware of the passing of a great lady. Upcoming meetings are December the 12th is organizational meeting. That's where we'll play musical chairs and choose a new president, vice president, clerk, etc. And the closed session is 5 o'clock and open session is at 7. And then the next item is the superintendent's report. So we'll have that at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Bond. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here this evening. And it's always a pleasure to share the highlights of the district in the superintendent's report and to share with you what's been happening in Moreno Valley Unified School District since the last board meeting. And the PowerPoint every week, we always show our mission statement. And I want to remind everyone that our mission is to make sure that we graduate every student from high school and that we those students successfully enter into higher education or pursue a viable career path. And everything we talk about tonight, mostly, is going to connect with that mission statement. I don't know if you got to read the newspaper or you heard about this, but a huge event happened in Moreno Valley last Thursday. Absolutely amazing what happened there. Is Ms. Johnson here, the principal of Valley View? Ms. Johnson, where are you? Okay. She simply outdid herself as far as welcoming Janet Napolitano, I'm not going to say her name right, Napolitano, best to correct me, to Valley View High School. But what a huge honor that was to have the Chancellor of the University of California and the President of the University of California system come to Valley View High School. And you can watch a replay of the event on the MVUSD Facebook page if you didn't get to be there, but it was truly memorable and exciting. We have another program in our district. We have many, but this one, I don't know if everybody realizes about the Cyber Patriots that are at Valley View High School and Canyon Springs High School. They have a program that is nationally known, and this is a national competition. And we have, there's, Canyon Springs and Valley View, and they just had one national competition. But this is like we went to this event at Moreno Valley College last Saturday, or the Saturday before, and Maribel Maddox was there with me, and there were all these people there that were from all over California that came to meet the Cyber Patriots from Valley View and Canyon Springs High School. That's huge, yeah. Because those programs don't exist everywhere, but they do here, and I want to thank Donna Woods and Chris Lorenz. Now, you've probably heard about this already, but you're going to hear about it several times. Valley View High School, the boys' water polo team, Mr. Holguin, myself, Chris Weddle, the public information officer, we were there. And I want you to know, they beat the week before Beverly Hills High School. Then they came back and they beat El Rancho High School, and it was amazing, their skill and what they did. And we're going to recognize that team at a future board meeting, but they are the CIF champs for this division. And I know there's some people that maybe they're going to tell me about the pool there, and we know there's a problem with the pool at Valley View, and it's being repaired. But I want you to know the coach overcame those obstacles, and he coached the young men in the gym the techniques. So obviously it worked. So I just want to say that's really championing equity, and we're very proud of them. Y'all can give them another round of applause. One of the things we work on in the district is decreasing suspensions and decreasing expulsions. We've implemented PBIS, positive behavior intervention systems, at every school in the district. And the district's suspension rates decreased from 10% to 6.3%, a decrease of 3.7%. 18 elementary schools, 4 middle, and all comprehensive high schools have decreased suspension rates.
Man, fantastic.
18 schools had an overall decrease in suspension rates in the 16-17 school year alone, and 11 elementary schools have suspension rates less than 1%. All student groups have decreased in suspension rates. And I want you to know this is important because when you try to get a 100% graduation rate, when you're suspending students less and they're staying at school, they're connecting more with school, and that's valuable to our community. And I know there's probably a mixture of feelings with this, but I want you to know it has a positive impact on our community. Then we work tirelessly to help our children in mathematics, and this is one thing that we do. It's in the Think Together program. This is through our categorical program office. It's additional tutoring beyond Think Together. And I show this to you because in this timeline that we have here, 384 elementary school students participated in this, 144 middle schools students, and they got 42 additional hours of instruction per student. And from their pre and post test, all of their scores grew. And so I encourage you at each of your schools, if you don't go to tutoring or if you don't go get some extra help, go to the principal and say, I want to be in this program because it's available to everyone. Mr. Garcia, who's the principal of Cloverdale right there, isn't that right? That's right. He'll sign you up, okay? So you can go on to the next slide. I wanted to tell you about a program that we have that's called SHMOOP, and this is an online intervention that we've implemented in all of our middle schools and high schools. And every middle school and high school student in our district has access to this. I wanted to show you the power of what happens, parents and community, when students participate in SHMOOP. Amanda Manley's a teacher at Vista del Lago High School. I was in her classroom today in her AP Calculus class, and this is the highest passing rate of AP Calculus in the district, but also the area. 69% of her students in advanced placement calculus passed the AP exam last year.
God.
So I don't know, I'm always trying to convince people to use this, but I hope tomorrow all of you will march back to your schools and just say to your principal, I need to be on SHMOOP. Because Amanda Manley, incoming AP Calculus students, set up a SHMOOP account before summer break so they can work on drills over the summer. Spring break assignment includes a full-length practice exam as homework and extra credit earned for any drill students take on their own. That's the reason she has that passage rate, because those students are reinforcing those skills and it works. So I just want to put that out there. Dr. Buster, who's in the audience, who's the Director of Professional Development and Digital Learning, she's helping with information systems with Tim Kelly to launch what in our district will be the first take-home initiative, the one-to-one devices where students get to take their Chromebook home in grades 3 through 12. We're very excited about this because every school district around us allows their children to take them home. And we're thrilled that this is going to happen in January in our district. And this actually, you just saw that SHMOOP thing I just showed you, how much better students do. So imagine these children having these Chromebooks all the time during breaks, during summer, during winter, when they're off for winter, and they're working on all these programs like SHMOOP to help them do better when they come back to school. Isn't that an exciting thing? Then I want you to know that we're asked routinely to present throughout our state and our country. The Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities Mr. Holguin was a panel moderator there, creating access to higher education through engagement. But Lily Avia, Maribel Maddox, and myself and Mr. Holguin presented on our Families for College program at this national conference. And I want you to know it was very well received. We had students there, we had parents at this conference, and we had a whole host of teachers, principals that attended, and it was, very impressive what happened there. Again, Dr. Buster, who's the Director of Professional Development and Digital Learning, I had no idea she was going to be here tonight, but I'm glad she is. This is an opportunity through UC Riverside in professional development. The district is going to partner with UC Riverside to offer teachers a STEAM certificate, and that's big. We're going to be able to have that here, so thank you. Then I want you to know that Lily Avia, is she here tonight? Or Martha Cepeda Medina, English learners? Well, I want you to know that we're very proud of the Riverside County Seal of Multiliteracy Awards. Moreno Valley has 68 students who have qualified for this, and this is the highest amount in Riverside County, and this is the 4th year that Moreno Valley Unified School District has had the highest number of students receive that Seal of Multiliteracy. That's big, y'all. They're going to receive the state seal of biliteracy as well. And this will happen on November the 28th at 6:30. So we have more students than Corona Norco, Valverde. Sometimes we're asked, why don't our students do as well as them? But there's all these different indicators that show that our students do better in different areas on different things. That doesn't always mean that one test measures everything. So I just want to remind us of that. Celebration. Stacy Lerma, is she here tonight, Dr. Buster? Oh, that's too bad. She was chosen as one of 109 science educators from across the state to be trained as an instructional materials reviewer. They don't choose everybody. And then one of the things we want to do is thank our school psychologist. Every school has a school psychologist that works with students, and this is the week of the school psychologist. And special education, our special education department is working to make sure they're acknowledged. But if you are at a school site, make sure you do something nice for them. Everybody has a week or a day, and this is their week, and they might be wondering why you hadn't done anything yet. So you've still got time. So we're very proud that our district participates with the California League of Middle Schools and the California League of High Schools. From Mountain View Middle School, Marissa Smith, who's a science teacher there, will be honored on December 11th. Last year, our district had the regional winner, Mrs. Hargey from Badger Springs Middle School. For the California League of High Schools, Yvonne Nyberger, a math teacher at Canyon Springs High School, and that event takes place in January. That's 2 educators here that are nominated, and there's only 12 in the region, from each region, from high school and middle school, that receive these awards. So we're very proud of our participation in that. Now, I want you to know in the back of the room, there's a flyer back there, and it's on the table back there, and it looks like this, and it says MVUSD teams into CIF quarterfinals. So if you ever heard that Moreno Valley Unified School District doesn't have teams that go into the CIF playoffs, you heard wrong. So I want you to know that you have additional opportunities, and you should go out and support these students, because I want you to know they play some good football. And I wasn't a football fan until I started going to these games. Now I know when to stand up and when to do what. So I want you to know Moreno Valley defeated Lusinger High School 51-31, y'all. So they're playing in a San Bernardino at Aquinas High School, and then Valley View High School defeated Shadow Hills that's out in the desert, 49-28, and they're playing Pacifica from Garden Grove this Friday at 7 o'clock. So I hope you'll go join them and celebrate this. So one of the things we're really proud of is Measure M projects and the different projects that are funded through different funding sources in our district. This is going to happen, and it's amazing, but you should really, when you get a chance, drive by Edgemont Elementary School and see what's rising there, because the students have been watching this, and in December, over winter break, the transformation is going to happen. Magically, that kingdom will open, and these students will leave the trailer park and go into this beautiful 2-story building. So we're very proud of that.
Dr. Kadziora, those are relocatable classrooms.
Relocatables. I know. I got to quit saying that. Relocatables. So then Canyon Springs High School, drive by there and look at the progress they're making. Is Miss Kerr here, the principal? Where is she? Okay. And she's really proud of this, and Amanda Deniston's back there with her, and they just have done such an amazing job of helping this project move along. But it is happening. The stadium and the athletic complex is going to be something, and we hope to graduate there in June. Yeah, y'all can clap for it. It's okay. And then I want you to know that there's other projects that are happening. There's middle school kitchen modernization at Badger Springs and Mountain View Middle School. And sometimes you see these fences up, parents, when you go into these buildings and wonder what's happening back there. But they're remodeling those kitchens. And Vista Heights Middle School is having the same thing. And then at Moreno Valley High School, when you get a chance, that new two-story building that's in the back of the building, I hope you go and look at that, because aren't they supposed to move in there, Tina Dagnott, also at the winter break? So that's a 30 classroom building, and so all the students are in relocatables now, and they'll be relocated into this beautiful building, and that will be a wonderful, place to learn and develop. And then also at Moreno Valley High School is the gym in Building L, and some people, Mr. Acord and Mrs. Jolynn Neal, the union presidents, they went on a tour of these buildings, didn't you? Yes, we did. And you're just excited about them opening, aren't you?
Very excited, especially since I helped open up Canyon Springs High School. After 31 years, those children are going to be able to graduate from their own school.
It's wonderful. And there's just a lot of wonderful things happening. Very proud of this. And then the place where people first go in our district is called the Centralized Registration Center. And this is from general funding, but that's being remodeled so that when people go there, they're more welcomed, and that's the first place they come in our district. So it's going to have a more welcoming atmosphere. Now tonight I have to do something that is required by the state of California, because we have local control accountability plan. And yesterday we had a local control accountability plan meeting in our district where stakeholders all came together and talked about our plan. If you're interested in this plan and you'd like to be part of the stakeholders group that meets 3 times a year, you're welcome to email me or Diane Helderstadt, and we'll add your name to the list. We invite anyone that wants to be a part of this, but it's an obligation and responsibility that we have to make sure that we inform the public of our local indicator priorities. And I'm going to do this really quick. So if you miss this is posted online, and you can go back there and check this. Okay, so I want you to know, I know this is quick. So in local indicator priority 1, it's the basics. And this is about teacher assignments and the number of students who have standards aligned materials, and the number of identified instances where facilities do not meet the good repair standard. And I'm proud to tell you that all the facilities in Moreno Valley meet the standard, and we meet who have access of textbooks. We meet that. You'll see that we meet all of these. So then the local indicator 2 is implementation of state academic standards, and that's fully implemented in the district. And we continue to work with our schools and our teachers, and especially in professional development through Dr. Buster and the professional development team, in making sure that teachers and principals are using standards, the California state standards and textbooks that are aligned to them. Local priority 3 is parent engagement. And this is where we look at, and we have to measure parent engagement by the number of people. This is a good measure of it tonight, the number of people that are here. This shows participation in the community, and this is good that you're here hearing these things. And then local priority number 6 is school climate. And I talked to you a little bit about tonight about decrease of suspensions and expulsions. And so that's what's in local climate survey, the school climate. And then we have an optional narrative box, which is where we can describe what we are doing in our district to make sure that we're meeting the requirements of our local control accountability plan. So I hope if you want to go back to that, please go back to it and look at it. It'll be online. Tonight, I know Veterans Day has passed, and I want to honor all of the people in here that are veterans, and I wish you'd stand right now if you're a veteran, or if you're, and would you stand if you're already standing, wave your hand. So we have 3 board members that have served in different branches of service. C.J. Johnson in the U.S. Air Force. And Diane, you have a special medal for them, or is it
It's a challenge coin.
a challenge coin? And then from Reno Valley College. And Gary Baugh, who's from the U.S. Air Force. And then Evan Morgan, he was in the U.S. Army. And I'd also like to thank my father, who spent 30 years in the military. He's deceased, but I want you to know he went to Vietnam and Korea, and we 5 children never appreciated when he was gone. We didn't know where he was. We thought, why doesn't he come back? But I just want you to know it's a sacrifice, and we appreciate the sacrifice. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Ketziora, for a wonderful report and recognition. You just stole some of my steam, which is a good thing. But before I move on to the students' report, since I am the president of the board, I think I have maybe what's called president's privilege. Now, he just gave us a report, and he cited several different things that are outstanding for the district, for the city, for the parents and our students. He talked about STEAM, he talks about celebration, and then you could tell when he was excited because he said this is the first time. I need you all to do me a favor. I started to stop him, but I thought, no, I'm going to let him continue, and I'll wait until the end. We hear enough bad things on TV, on the radio, we see it in our cities, and sometimes we see it on our own grounds. But when we have things that you guys work hard for, that's why you're here tonight, and you're here because of these young students, teachers, the principals. When you hear something great, pretend like you're watching the Dallas Cowboys play, who's your team? The Green Bay Packers or whatever. Oh, no, we lost that game. Okay, well, pretend, okay, I'm going to do this just for today. Pretend that you are the Patriots and you just defeated the Atlanta Falcons because you wasn't supposed to, but you did. So just pretend that next time we have a meeting, if he's going to be bringing a report to the district, to all of you, because you guys have worked. This is not us. He and I didn't do this. Your teachers, your principals, everyone else, they worked hard. So when he shows these things and you see some excitement, you don't even have to wait for that. Our young student, do you have cheerleaders at your school? Yes, we do. Do you know how many y'all have? A lot. You have a lot. You know one of the reasons why they have a lot? I'm going to tell you what I think. I think they have a lot because they know there are big crowds and they want to keep the crowds engaged. They want you to pump those boys up. So how do you think this happened? This happened because those cheerleaders pumped those guys up, and those guys went out there after the coaches yelled as well, and they did a wonderful job. So all I'm saying, this is not an admonishment. I feel good. Please, if you hear something that's good, don't wait for your neighbor. You do something, and I'll guarantee you somebody that's going to follow you. So can you do that for me, please, next time? Thank you all. So I'll turn it over to you so we can hear the school reports. Now, young ladies and young men, when you guys give your reports, don't just walk off. Wait until you hear something. You might be surprised. Something from them, okay? Go ahead, sweetheart.
All right. Good evening, President Johnson, Vice President Baugh, Clerk Smith, members of the board, and Dr. Ketziora. Unfortunately, the representatives from Bayside were not able to attend the meeting tonight, so I will be reading their report. The boys volleyball team played their first 2 games and won both games. They are off to a good start for the season. The girls won their first game. We have identified the students who achieved the PBIS Titan Excellence in the first quarter. These students are eligible to attend a field trip, such as the Texas A&M versus UCLA football game college event students attended in October. The students also have a choice of early lunch release on Tuesday and Thursday, or a ticket to the home volleyball games. 31 students were eligible for these PBIS rewards. We recently held our second school site council for the 2017-2018 school year. The attendance was good, and the group discussed options for the rollover monies Bayside received. Our blood drive in October was very successful. We had good participation from our students and staff. Our second blood drive will be in December before we go on winter break. A group of ladies from the Seroptimist Club are starting to work with students in the ASB class. The program they are presenting is entitled Dream It, Be It. The program was well received last year, and the girls were looking forward to it this year. This concludes our report. Thank you for your attention. Will the representative for Canyon Springs High School come forward and present their report?
Good evening, board members, Dr. Kenziorda, cabinet, and community of Moreno Valley. I am pleased to announce all the fantastic activities that have occurred at Canyon Springs so far. Canyon Springs Performing Arts Department has been busy. Band took part in the Laura Band Review and Field Tournament and the Rancho Verde Field Tournament. Band, color guard, and percussion took 3 first places, 1 second place, and 2 third places. Canyon Springs Theater recently brought the Diviners to the stage to be adjudicated by the California Educational Theater Association, receiving 2 excellent and 1 superior rating. Seniors Sarah Hernandez and Aaron Bryant were inducted into the International Thespian Society for the 16-17 school year, along with 7 class of 2017 graduates. Congratulations to more than 200 CTE students who received certificates of completion for their fire safety component of the curriculum. Students passed a written exam and received 4 or more hours of instruction on fire prevention and suppression, along with hands-on use of a portable fire extinguisher, extinguishing a controlled fire under the guidance and supervision of the Moreno Valley Fire Department. The Anti-Bullying Club completed their campaign for National Anti-Bullying Month. They had posters around the school and hosted lunchtime activities throughout the month, like pop-out bullying, where students pop balloons to get the positive messages hidden inside. Our Girls Cyber Patriot team served as mentors at the annual GEMS conference, with more than 300 middle school girls in attendance, including representatives from all middle schools in our district. The goal of the conference is to empower middle school girls with knowledge and opportunities in STEM fields. Student attendance for August and September have had the lowest chronic absence percentage at 7.65%, but as of today, it is now at 6.8%, which is a historical low compared to the same time period in previous years. It is also below the superintendent's expectations. In order to address the number of students who have been experimenting with and or abusing prescription drugs in our community, our guidance department has worked in conjunction with CVS Health to educate our students on the dangers and concerns of prescription drug abuse. CVS Health spoke to our 9th and 10th grade students about the dangers of prescription drugs during 2 assemblies this morning. Freshman seminar classes have been doing student-led parent conferences with other staff members filling in when parents cannot attend. Grades, attendance, and behavior for these at-risk 9th graders have improved over their 8th grade year. ASB has been very busy as the year is progressing. They have just put on the C.D. Hawkins Fall Festival, which had 345 students attend, with everyone having at least 95% attendance. This was nearly 3 times as many attendees than they had last year for the dance that is still new to our our standards events. Thank you for your time. Are there any questions?
Any questions? Thank you.
Will the representative for Moreno Valley High School come forward and present their report?
Good evening, School Board, Dr. Kadzori, and Cabinet. I am Mulalis Palomares. I am the ASB President and School Board Rep for this school year. Here are the exciting things that are happening at Moreno Valley High School. Congratulations to our AVID program for earning a 3-year validation to maintain our AVID demonstration status. This is the maximum time allotted. We are so honored to have received this recognition. We are proud of Mr. Benitez and all the AVID teachers for their hard work on behalf of the students. AVID continues to have specialty classes that focus on different needs that are within our school. This year, we implemented an RSP AVID class. This class joins a list that includes Athletic AVID, African American AVID, All-Male AVID, and All-Female AVID sections. 20 Viking students earned their multiliteracy seal. The Riverside County Seal of Multiliteracy recognizes students who have attained high levels of proficiency in English and at least one other world language by high school graduation. We are pleased to announce our new female mentoring program is off to a great start. There were over 90 young ladies who attended last Friday's meeting. The topics for discussions include positive self-image, communication skills, setting goals, and etiquette. Smiles for Students is a program created by Ms. Christy Hurd, and we appreciate her willingness to support our students. Our Viking football team beat Lusinger High School in the first round of CIF game this past Friday. We now move to the second round, play Aquinas High School this Friday at 7 p.m. We are proud of our water polo team that made the first round of playoffs since the program was restarted. Our Lady Vikings volleyball team made it to the first round of playoffs. This was the first time in over 20 years that the girls volleyball made such gains. ASB and AVID students are collecting food donations to be distributed to some of our Viking families that could use some extra help this Thanksgiving season. Boxes will be delivered this Friday. ASB held their annual blood drive for the fall. They were able to collect over 150 pints of blood to help area hospitals. Thank you to PTO and Interact Club for hosting our community trick-or-treat night. Many families showed to celebrate and participate in the evening's events. There are over 100 students who are part of the Interact Club and were dressed in costumes, provided candy, and hosted activities and games for children in the neighborhood surrounding our campus. Thanks to PTO for hosting our Dia de los Muertos event. Our own ballet folklorico performed and students enjoyed lunchtime activities. Congratulations to our band for winning first place in band competition held last Saturday. They placed first competing against other high schools in our city. Chess Club competed at Rim of the World High School in Lake Arrowhead this past weekend. Our Vikings won 4 trophies while battling against other Riverside County high schools. Congratulations to Fabian Torres, who represented Moreno Valley High School at the 2nd Annual Inland Code Consortium Computer Science event in Riverside, showcasing his game, Snake Up 2. He is a great example of being college and career ready and proficient in technological skills. This concludes my reports. Do you have any questions?
Any questions? No, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, the representative from March Mountain was not able to attend the meeting tonight, so I will be reading their report. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, school board, superintendent, and cabinet. We are continuing with our implementation of Pause on campus to encourage positive behavior and student responsibility. The P stands for persevering mindset. A stands for always respectful. W is for willingly responsible. And lastly, S for safety conscious. Teachers give out pause tickets to students that are caught doing good deeds, including but not limited to being on task, going above and beyond what is expected, wearing college shirts or school colors on appropriate days, excelling on tests, showing acts of good character on campus, as well as working well with others. Yesterday, our entire campus used a special advisory period to watch a short TED Talk on cyberbullying and what we can do on campus to help prevent it from happening. After the video, each class divided into small groups to discuss solutions. Students then created a letter to Mr. McMurray with ideas on how we can help prevent it on campus. Events at March Mountain or March Valley include: last week, our manufacturing and logistics class took 19 students to the NHRA Youth Education Services event in Pomona. The NHRA YES program allows participants the opportunity to learn about and explore various career opportunities while gaining a new perspective on STEM by taking what they acquire in the classroom and applying it to real-world experiences. We are continuing our food drive for the holidays, and our goal is to collect 2 items for each student on campus. The winning third period will win an ice cream social. The Moreno Valley College has been to our campus a number of times to complete the assessment, application, and FAFSA with our students. They will continue to assist our students throughout the school year as they graduate each term. On Thursday, our student leaders will be attending the Dare to Be Aware conference, and on Friday, March Valley students will be attending a UCR college visit trip with team building exercises. Congratulations to Tony Tackett on her admission to her 7th college. Congratulations to our boys softball team that won the Alternative School League Championship.
What a color. Did you guys notice how she did the championship? That was your cue right there. Thank you very much.
All right, so now time for Valley View. Good evening, board members, Dr. Ketziora, cabinet and community of Moreno Valley. I am Serene Manuel, school board representative for Valley View High School, and I am pleased to announce all of the amazing things occurring at Valley View. Academically, Eagles are soaring. On October 11th, we successfully completed the school-wide PSAT and SAT day. Test scores were released last week, and many students were proud of their work. Also in the month of October, 392 students had achieved perfect attendance. On October 27th, we recognized 250 students for earning a 4.0 or higher from the first quarter grading period by hosting a 4.0 luncheon. Congratulations to the employees of the month for October, Mr. Robert Meadows for certificated staff, and Ms. Sarah English for classified staff. Valley View is buzzing with extracurricular activities. Our homecoming game on October 20th was a success with an exciting win against Canyon Springs High School. In addition, 11 floats were featured during our Pixar-themed float parade. BSU won the competition with their float, which was based on The Incredibles. November is National Diabetes Awareness Month. This week, we are hosting various lunchtime activities to support the cause. Each day, a student can write encouraging cards to pediatric patients in the hospital battling type 1 diabetes. As a type 1 diabetic myself, I appreciate the step towards educating others about the disease. On November 9th, Valley View High School hosted the UC Achieve event, and the University of California President Janet Napolitano.
She don't just go to any district now. You've never seen her here before. I don't know. Do it again. Who was that lady again?
Janet
I think they
Napolitano.
want you to do it again. Read the whole sentence again.
On November 9th, over 200 students were invited to this
How
event.
many?
200.
Okay. Now, why were they invited?
These were the people who were invited to attend the UC Achieve event. So it was their next step to attending a UC campus.
Okay, and who came to witness that?
UC President Janet Napolitano.
UC what?
President.
All right, I was just waiting. UC president came to Moreno Valley, Valley View. Was it Valley View High School? You said?
Yes, it
All right,
was.
well, I thought you said. All right. we having fun, but we're really not having fun. You need to make sure that you recognize this. This type of thing don't happen every day. Go on. I'm sorry, sweetheart. Go
It's okay. Over 200 students were invited to this event, as well as distinguished guests. Up to date, we have 63 active clubs. Hence, each and every Eagle has a flock to soar with. One of the notable clubs on campus, the National Honor Society, hosted their canned food drive at the end of October. With the participating classes, we were able to collect over 4,000 items. Way to go, Eagles! The various talents of our students also shine through our theater program, which just had their fall production called Dark Road. All of the participants did a fantastic job. In addition, we want to congratulate our varsity football team who advanced to CIF playoffs last week.
Say what again? Okay, good. All right. We're catching on.
Our boys water polo team advanced to CIF state finals last Saturday. I'm gonna toss this to you. And a huge congratulations goes to our boys water polo team who won the Division 7 CIF championships on Saturday.
Well, she's standing. I'm standing too. Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Bring up this is good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we actually have a water polo player back there. Ian, wave. And this is the plaque we were awarded. So if you guys want to pass that around. And the game was 14-13, so it was really intense. Great job, Eagles. That's all for Valley View High School's report. Are there any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Why didn't you mention that one of your students just got a four-year full ride scholarship
Oh,
at the University of
didn't.
California,
Northridge.
Northridge.
Mm-hmm.
That's Jaden Jackson to play on their basketball team. It's remarkable.
Is he here?
She.
She? Is Jaden here?
Just got it today.
Oh, okay.
That's remarkable to, as a mid-year senior, to sign a letter of intent to go to a four-year school with the capability of Northridge. And if you've ever seen her play, she is a scrambler. She's a short gal, but she can run, circle around you, steals the balls, sets up, very generous person, and a three-point shooter. So they've got a great ball player, and she was recognized today, and so that we should mention that.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Barr.
Any other questions? All right. Will the representative for Vista Del Lago High School come forward and present their report?
Good evening, school board members, Superintendent Dr. Kitziora, cabinet, teachers, parents, students, and community. I am Noelia Estrada, Senior Class Vice President, representing Vista Del Lago High School, and I am here tonight to bring you the exciting news from our campus. As the year begins, we remain focused on developing our rated values: R for respect, A for achieve, V for value, E for engage, N for never give up, and S for succeed, as well as our school motto: take care of yourself, take care of each other, and take care of the school. Vista Del Lago High School has hosted their very own California Shakeout on October 18, 2017. All students and staff ducked, covered, and hid in preparation and knowing what to do during an earthquake. ASB has shown an extreme hard work this month. ASB helped with Butterfield Elementary event on October 27, 2017. After the carnival event, ASB went back to Vista Del Lago to our peek out football game. ASB helped with carnival games along with supervising the Halloween costume contest. Also, ASB hosted a haunted maze on October 31st, 2017. Students and staff went into the maze and we made sure they were in for a treat. For our Ravens football team's last home game, ASB created a Spirit Week to exhibit Raven pride and spirit, and also to show that we believe in our amazing Ravens. Vista Del Lago High School continues to focus on academics. All students participated in the SAT event on October 11, 2017. Our seniors took the SAT, and juniors and sophomores took the PSAT. And freshmen got an amazing presentation from the Freedom Writers on the importance of being a leader. Next, our wonderful counselors hosted a CSU workshop on October 18, 2017. Students got to receive information on how to successfully complete their applications. They also had a Cash for College workshop on October 26, 2017. There were gifts, prizes, and a variety of information provided on how to be accepted into the college of your choice. Homecoming week concluded with a huge homecoming football game on October 13, 2017. There were many performers from our dance team, marching band, color guard, Mardi Gras, and many more. ASB got to present their class floats to show off their fantastic themes. Dr. Kitziar was ready to lend a helping hand by chauffeuring our freshman homecoming corps in the parade. After all the amazing performance, the winners for King and Queen were announced and the crowd cheered with excitement. Congratulations to our Queen Iracis Garcia and King Stephen Vogue. Our clubs have shown a joyful amount of fun on campus. Interact helped with North Ridge Elementary event on October 20th, 2017. They played carnival games and also helped with making sure the students had a wonderful time. They also had a community cleanup on October 18, 2017. In addition, National Honor Society volunteered with the Salvation Army on October 31, 2017. NHS helped pass out candy to the children and helped with carnival games. They also participated in the La Jolla Elementary event on October 26, 2017. October Student of the Month were announced October 31, 2017. Students were recognized for all their hard work, and teachers acknowledged their student for completely supporting our Raven values. Red Ribbon Week was a complete success. ASB created a poster for students to sign a pledge to stop violence. There was pamphlets and red ribbons being passed to the entire student body. Now for an athletic update. Congratulations to our girls volleyball, girls tennis, and girls cross country for making it to CIF. And this is the second year in a row for our girls cross country team. We couldn't be more excited for our fall sports teams this season. This concludes my report for this evening. Are there any questions?
Any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. You done? Oh, okay, well, thank you. And thank you all for acknowledging the great work that's happening in our high schools. I'm going to ask the board to indulge me. If you can go to page 4, we're going to look at D. We're going to go down to D2. I need to get a vote on one item. But let me read these 3 off before I get to that one. So in our closed session, we discussed student discipline cases, public employee discipline, dismissals, release, non-reelects, conference with labor negotiator, and this is the one, public employee employment appointment. We do have 2 people that we want to announce. We're not going to bring them up right now. We're going to wait until we go on the floor, and then we'll bring them up with everyone else so they can just blend in. And we're trying to keep them here as long as as long as we can. So with that being said, we have Ms. Shelley Crandall, Assistant Director, Special Education. Can I please get a, thank you all. Let me read both of them and we'll get a motion, put them together. And the second one is Joanne Catano. Katona, okay, Katona. I'm sorry, Katona. Assistant Principal, K5. Whoa, y'all like her already, huh? Gee whiz. She hadn't even started yet. You guys like her. Way to go. K5 Midland Northridge. So, could I get a motion on these 2, please?
So moved.
Okay, so it was moved by Mr. Holguin and seconded by Mr. Barr. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye, so we have 4 ayes, no nays, one absent, motion carried. So welcome aboard, Dr. Purdy. Man, I like that. Dr. Purdy is going to bring you up a little later, so you can pull out your cell phones and get your speech together. Okay, so moving on to, I think it's on page 6, recognition. Resolution number 2017-18-23, Native American Heritage Day. Could I get a motion on that one, please?
So moved.
Okay,
I'll
Mr.
second
Barr.
that.
and seconded by Mrs. Smith. We'll call for the vote, please.
Mr. Holguín.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye. So we have 4 ayes, no nays, no abstention, 1 absent. That motion carried. We will call you up in a minute as well. I think one more. Did I have one more?
Page 8.
Yeah, 8.
Page 8, let me see. I thought I had them all marked. Okay, I
Great
have-
American Smokeout.
Yeah, Great American Smokeout. Where is it? Right here. Okay, here's the last one. Resolution number 2017-18-24, Great American Smokeout. Can I get a motion on that one, please? Mr.
I'll second
Holguín,
that.
And seconded by Mrs. Smith. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Holguín.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye. So we have 4 ayes, no nays, no abstention, and 1 absent. That motion carried. Okay. Yes, right now, right? Okay, so I think, yeah, that's it now. We can now go down and recognize all of our new hires and everyone else who's getting recognized tonight. Thank you, thank you. You need to keep this, Okay. I'm going to bring up Dr. Verdi first. Yes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. So congratulations to these next 2 employees, longtime employees with the district. We are so excited to see them take these next steps in their careers with us. First, I'd like to bring up our new Assistant Director for Special Education, Shelley Crandall.
So, Dr. Kadziora, Cabinet Board, and our SELPA Executive Director, Pam Bender, I really appreciate all of the faith that you have in me, and it's been a privilege to serve all of these years in the district and to start this new path with you, and I'm looking forward to serving all of you. Thank you.
And now, to introduce you to our new assistant principal here, I'd like to bring up the new AP for Midland and Northridge, Joanne Katona. Congratulations again.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Kadziora, school board, cabinet members. And I'm a longtime employee of Moreno Valley Unified, 28 years in the district. I see some of my former students sitting out there. I also have my PD family here, former principals, my longtime partner teacher is here. And I am just so excited to move on to this next level of my professional career. And I'm just ready to get started. Thank you for your faith in me moving to this next level of my career.
And last but not least, our board will be voting on approving tonight our new facilities planner, a person who's going to have a big part in future plans. You saw some of the plans tonight that our superintendent mentioned in terms of updating our facilities and creating new and better facilities for our students. So I'd like to introduce you all to Mr. John Nichols. If John will come up, please. Congratulations, John. Thanks for being here.
Great to be here, great to transition from 37 years in the private practice of architecture and apply some of the skills and knowledge and expertise to this fantastic program that the district has with Measure M. So Superintendent, Board, really appreciate the vote of encouragement and look forward to working with you all.
Chris. Oh, there's Chris over here. All right. Next up, Mrs. Smith.
Will Ashley Holguin please come up and join me on the podium? Ashley is a counselor at Serrano and Northridge Elementary Schools. Tonight, we approved a resolution in support of the Great American Smokeout, which takes place this Thursday. We've made great progress in the United States over the past 40 years or so in keeping young people from using tobacco products, and we have our public schools to thank for that. But as you know, Americans still use tobacco. Let me read you some surprising statistics from the Centers for Disease Control. More than 16 million Americans are living with a disease caused by smoking. For every person who dies because of smoking, at least 30 people live with a serious smoking-related illness. Smoking causes cancer, heart disease, stroke, lung diseases, diabetes, and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, which includes emphysema and chronic bronchitis. Smoking also increases the risk for tuberculosis, certain eye diseases, and problems of the immune system, including rheumatoid arthritis. Smoking is the leading cause of preventable death. Cigarette smoking is responsible for more than 480,000 deaths per year in the United States, which adds up to more than 1,300 deaths per day. So with that in mind, it goes without saying that our school board and our school district enthusiastically support the Great American Smokeout on November 17th and urge all students and any others who will listen to please stay away from tobacco products.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Ashley Holguin, and I'm a counselor here in the district at Northridge and Serrano Elementary. So, as mentioned, this Thursday, on the third Thursday of November, smokers across the nation take part in the Great American Smokeout event, which encourages those who smoke to either quit or make that plan to quit. Even though our students are not smokers, our classroom participation in tobacco education activities is so important. According to the American Cancer Society, tobacco use is responsible for nearly 1 in 5 deaths in the United States. Smoking is the most preventable cause of death in our society, and the research tells us that all smokers start at a very young age. Nearly 3,000 kids under the age of 18 try their first cigarette, and another 700 become regular daily smokers. The good news is that the number of younger Americans who smoke cigarettes has been decreasing, and that is because of education. Here in our district, we are very lucky to be able to do that through our new Tobacco Use Prevention Education Grant, which is a $6,000 grant. So we are very important in helping our students take that, to stay away from smoking, and it could even save their lives. So today I am accepting this resolution as proof of our commitment to continue our work. On behalf of Patty Rucker and all school counselors, I would like to thank the board for supporting and adopting this resolution, and I'd also like to thank all the educators
for teaching our students about tobacco prevention through all of our classroom and school-wide activities. Thank you.
So now we'll turn it over to Mrs. Maddox. I'm sorry. Tonight is not my night.
That's all right. That's all right. Thank you, Mr. Johnson, for not forgetting me. I have another resolution, and I'm going to ask, please, will Nicole Lindemuth, Nicole, and forgive me if I pronounce your last name incorrectly. Please join me here. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you. So this resolution is for the Native American Heritage Day. Nicole is a teacher at Sunny Meadows Elementary. Friday, November 24, has been designated as Native American Heritage Day, a time to remember or learn about the many ways Native Americans have influenced American and other cultures. For example, many of the foods now are grown and eaten by people all over the world, such as corn, tomatoes, potatoes, peppers, pumpkins, and avocados, were first cultivated by Indians of North and South America for thousands of years. 26 states take their names from Indian words, and the work of environmental protection is influenced by Native American history and practices. In the words of Chief Sealth, or Chief Seattle, as he is better known today, man did not weave the web of life. He's merely a strand in it. Whatever he does to the web, he does to himself. So today, our school board enthusiastically supports Native American Heritage Day, and we urge all students, parents, teachers, and other staff to learn more about the many contributions to our nation and the world made by the first inhabitants of the Americas. And so I have this resolution, and I'm just going to read the last item that says, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education does hereby declare November 24, 2017 as Native American Heritage Day in Moreno Valley Unified School District, and encourages all educational communities to commemorate this occasion with appropriate instructional activities, and it's signed by all board members and the superintendent.
So I'm going to say this in my language. So wado, osio, niga, dohisha, which means thank you and welcome to all. I hope you are well. On behalf of the Native students of this district, their parents, and for the staff that works here, I accept this resolution, and I thank you for letting me be here today.
So now, can I introduce Mrs. Maddox?
Good evening. It is my pleasure to acknowledge the students and staff that are here for our tonight's recognitions. We're going to go ahead and start by acknowledging the students that had the highest ELA and math growth for the CASP. The CASP is really smarter balance. This is the test that's given in the spring, and it measures students' growth and achievement in ELA and math standards. So students, as I call your name, if the principals are here or any staff from that school, if you could come up, and you can see their names also, strolled on our screens. So I'm going to start with Mia Sanchez Martinez from Towngate Elementary for growth in English and language arts and math. Then we're going to go to Musa Swan from Ramona Elementary. If the principals are here, they can also come on up. Christian Gonzalez Chavez, Cloverdale Elementary. Yahir Quesada, Mountain View Middle School. Ayumi Wasman, Cloverdale Elementary. Now we're going to go to the top students who had growth in English language arts, both from Sunnymead Middle. We have Brenda Mendez Sotomayor. And we have Josiah Baker. And our acknowledgments continue. This is for growth in math. We have Evangelina Esparza Rivas from Ridgecrest. A. Marie Womack from Palm Middle. And Alicia Acosta from Towngate Elementary. Congratulations for doing well on the test. Guys, it's very important. You worked all year for this. Congratulations. Thank you, staff and principal. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you for all of your sir. Anytime I am here for you. Thank you. Congratulations.
I don't want that one.
One for me.
Who's the first girl now?
Here. Yeah, but let's put him here. Oh, you want to put him up there? Okay. We're now going to acknowledge the schools for our attendance awards. I think we all know how important attendance is. Of course, we need our students in school every day so that they can learn. So we're going to acknowledge our schools on two things. The first one says ADA. That's the students that come to school every day. So these schools have those percentages. But we also are acknowledging our schools for a low rate in chronic absenteeism. Chronic absenteeism is defined as students that miss 10% of the school year. So you want to make sure that the students, that we not just only monitor if they're here every day, but are they missing 10% of the school year. So these schools have achieved great, it's a lot of work, but percentages in attendance. So one more time, as I call the school, and we're going to present the elementary, the middle, and the high school with these beautiful, very heavy trophies. And so this is the deal. We're going to do this every month. And so schools, you get to keep the trophy, or you get to hand it over to another school that beat you. So it's on. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with our elementary school. If we have staff from that school, administration, teachers, students, parents, please come on up. So we're going to start by acknowledging Ridgecrest Elementary School. So Ridgecrest has a 96.83 ADA, and then you can see the chronic absenteeism rate. We're going to go to our middle school with Landmark Middle School. Everyone from Landmark, please come on up. You can see their percentage. ADA is 97%, and then with the chronic absenteeism rate. Congratulations. And then for our high school for this month, it's Canyon Springs High School with a 95.72 ADA, and you can see their chronic absenteeism. Congratulations to these schools, and thank you to the parents who send their students to school every day. And there's a banner. Just two of you.
Even a professional development specialist from Ridgecrest is the professional development. Parent ambassador? No, parent ambassador. Oh, you're a parent.
Oh, thank you. A parent from Ridgecrest, Eric. Thank you.
Thank you. Take it to the Liberty.
Yes. That was good.
Thanks, Marilyn.
Yeah. No. Thank you. Nice to see you. We're now going to go to athletics. I think you heard in the student reports how important athletics are for some of our students. It's about student engagement and making our students competitive. So we're very, very proud to announce March Mountain High School. And I'd like to ask the March Mountain High School boys softball team, all of them, to come on up. This team recently won the Inland Empire Alternative Schools League Championship. The team finished 6-2 and beat Orangewood High School from Redlands 10-7 in the championship game. Coach Jeff Patterson reports that March Mountain led the league with many home runs from Jacob Curiel, Sean Rangel, and Chris Gallego. In addition to the power hitting, March also led the league with the strong defense from infielders. Ricky Carrillo, first baseman, Santos Aparicio, second baseman, Sean Rangel, third baseman, and Jacob Curiel, shortstop. Students and coach, thank you so much. We're very, very proud of your achievement. Thank you.
Right here.
Congratulations. Thank you, Coach. Thank you.
Oh, I forgot to bring it.
And we're going to finish this evening's recognitions by continuing to acknowledge academics. We have so many students that do well, especially at the state testing at the end of the year, that we have actually recognized them in groups. So I'm going to continue to recognize our students. One more time, you'll see their names scrolled up in the screens, but I'm going to call you. So anyone for those schools, if we have administration, if we have staff, and of course the students, please come on up. We're very, very proud of you. So these students received, I can't believe this, I have to read it 3 times, the highest scale score possible, the highest score on these tests. So that's amazing. So let me start with Bear Valley. We have Cassandra Serna and Demi Ramirez. Then we're going to head on now to Canyon Springs High School, where we have Alex Romero, Chloe Gustava, David Wilkinson, Haciel Rojo, Joel Oswari, Lance Martinez, and Trinity McCarthy. Cloverdale is next with Michael Boone. Edgemont, we have Leslie Martinez. We now go on to Landmark, where we have Lauren Sapp and Ashkin Paliki. Palm Middle School. We have Enzo and Angelo Cayetano, Sofia Covarrubias, Zachary Marfori, Audrey Reinhard, Lauren Gray, and Tarushi Jagasiki. From Ridgecrest, we have Daniel Christensen. That was English Language Arts. Now let's go to math. I cannot wait. From Bear Valley, we have Roussel Payne, Quacotor, I think it's. From Palm, we have Madison Chow, Mario Avery Costello, Alexis Morales, Amory Martin, Jacob Kerr, and from Ridgecrest, Vincent Trees. Let's congratulate these students. Very proud of all these students. The highest scale score possible in ELA and math. Congratulations to the students, the parents, and the staff at those schools. Thank you.
Former teacher.
Page what? 13? Okay. Yeah, I do that. Page 13. Okay, we'll give,
Public comments now.
yeah, page 13. Oh, okay, we're going to resume. If you're following the agenda, we're on page 13, E6, staff responses to public comments made at previous meetings. There are none? Okay, good. E7, public comments on agenda items. Any person requesting to speak to any item on the agenda may do so at this time or when the item is addressed by the Board of Education. Individual speakers shall be allowed to speak for 3 minutes on any agenda item. The Board of Education shall limit the total time for public input on each agenda item to 21 minutes. Board Bylaws 9323, B Section 5. Per board Bylaw 9323, twice the allotted time will be provided to a member of the public utilizing a translator. And we have, okay, two agendas. Okay, these two right here then. Okay, so the first agenda item I have is Roy Bleckert. I don't know, is he here? Oh, there he is back there. We have Roy Bleckert and Roy Bleckert, H1 and E2. So you can just go and do those in succession.
CJ, no words can, I know any of us can say can replace your loss, but I will say this personally, and I think I can say this confidently. Everybody here will provide for you personally in anything you need at this time. Now down to biz. E2, the meetings, and it's coming up again a year. I think I had an email in at the beginning of the year, and I was assured by the then superintendent and current city manager of Moreno Valley that there was only 4 to 5 conflicts. I think we're on our dozen or more, and including tonight, there is a study session at the Moreno Valley City Council. So I hope that will be taken into consideration in the next year, that we can, if not eliminate, vastly reduce the conflicts of our public meetings in Moreno Valley, conflicting dates where we're having meetings on the same dates, because it provides the impression, or if you're trying to provide the impression of transparency all the way around, I think public comment, public participation should be encouraged, and I believe it's a deterrent when we have meetings in our city on the same day, and it does not allow people of the public to comment at either one, or you have to choose. I think it's a very easy solvable problem. I put solutions on the table for many years that have been ignored, and I'm hoping in 2018 that will not be the case, because it has a very distinct message and item that's coming up on the next item that I'm going to talk about, which is H1.
You're good.
So we can start with H1?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. The marijuana ordinance is coming up now. I believe it passed 2 weeks ago at the Moreno Valley City Council. They passed an emergency ordinance, I believe, in November of 2016. It's been brought up many times at public meetings. I was in attendance, and I think all 5 board members and the superintendent were in attendance in around June of the summer break this year, when now absent Mr. Morgan brought it up, that the school board should look at the issue of marijuana in the schools. My first question is, why is it being dealt with or being a discussion item after it has passed the Moreno Valley City Council? Because I don't know how many people here, but I started in Moreno Valley schools, started attending them in the middle 60s. Marijuana was in the schools then. It was readily available, was the most available thing in there. And we have a now sitting city councilman that was recently in the schools, and it's my understanding from him it's the same way. One of the things that we should look at, and one of the things in a lot of my public statements, if you go back and look at the city council, was using the existing law that's coming up and the future law, which is coming up in a couple months, and all the resources, and it's all about the money, to use that constructively so we can get rid of marijuana in our schools and any other controlled substance. So we have to look economically at that so we can give our public safety officials, our police departments, and those who can put in set teams and whatever it does to clean that industry out. Because it's going to be legal for people over 21, but it should not be in our schools. We should be looking at that. I would like, and I think other members of the public would like an explanation of why this issue has been ignored at the school board, or what measures you did, because I was at most of all the public meetings and spoke at them on this issue, and I don't recall anybody from the school district or a representative from them being there. And I don't know what other issue would be more important or what should be addressed at the school district, but the issue of marijuana and controlled substances in our schools. Because if we don't clean that up, you know, that's a very dark detriment to education. And it puts it has a lot of connotations which I cannot address in the few seconds left. But I would like the explanation, or why it's coming up now, what we're going to do in the future, because I think there's a golden opportunity now to fix it if we all get together and put our heads together and fix it correctly.
Jose Chavez.
Chris.
Mr. Katsiora. And I would like to say good evening, everybody. And at the beginning, I say Happy New Holidays. It's coming up pretty soon. And I say this because I'm going to have a surgery pretty soon. You are very able to see me for a little while. I'm going to take a break on it. But in the meantime, Jesus is on the side with me. Some people that don't believe it, but I do. I know Moreno Valley tried to kill me 3 times already. But nobody wants to hurt through. Sorry for that. But I not really care much about this kind of life. I am interested for my future life that Jesus can have for me. For those people that don't believe in God, I feel so sorry for that. And that's the only thing I'm able to say today. Okay. Thanks so much.
Jorge Quintero. Oh, here he is right there.
Buenas noches, miembros del board,
Good evening, members of the board,
doctor Quisiora,
Dr.
Maestros,
Quezora, teachers,
padres
parents,
y alumnos.
and students.
Recientemente recibí una carta de aquí del Distrito Escolar
Recently, I received a letter from the school district,
firmada por el señor Darius Scott,
and it's signed by Mr. Daryl Scott,
donde nos señala que va a haber nuevas formas para entrar a las escuelas.
where is letting us know that there's going to be different ways to go into the schools
Por mantener la seguridad.
in order to maintain security.
Me parece bien,
I agree with that.
pero yo creo que el señor Scott está mal informado o no fue muy específico en sus señalamientos aquí.
But I think that Mr. Scott is not well informed, or he was not very specific on the things that he mentions here.
Dice, la seguridad de los estudiantes y el personal escolar es nuestra primera prioridad.
He's saying the security of our students and our staff is our first priority
Del distrito escolar.
in the school district.
Periódicamente estamos revisando nuestros protocolos de seguridad y mejorar
Periodically-
nuestros procesos siempre que sea posible.
I'll read it. ¿Dónde está?
Aquí está.
¿Dónde?
Aquí está. Este aquí. Este aquí. Bien.
One way we have identified to improve the safety of our students and the staff is to ensure that anyone entering our campuses is not registered in the National Sex Offender Database.
That is not the translation what he said.
What part-
Entonces,
That's the part that he's pointed
Sí.
on the letter.
sí, sí. El problema es decir, nada más está señalando los ofendedores sexuales.
The problem in here is that he's only mentioning the sex offenders.
Allí él está incompleto porque debería ser todos los delincuentes.
Yes, right there he is incomplete because it should be for all the people that is in delinquency.
Otra cosa que dice, no vamos a utilizar los datos de las agencias gubernamentales.
Another thing that he's saying is that we're not going to use all the data from the agencies from the government.
Entonces será mago,
Then maybe he's a magician.
porque yo creo que los datos fidedignos es las agencias gubernamentales.
Because I think that the real data is from these kind of agencies.
Hay preocupación de la comunidad porque
Community is concerned
un gran porcentaje de la comunidad no tiene papeles,
because a high percentage of the community, they don't have
documentos legales para estar aquí.
legal documents to be here.
Él nos señala que si necesitan un ID para entrar,
And he's letting us, telling us that they need an ID in order to
pero
go in.
si no tienen ID, él puede sacar una matrícula consular en los consulados de los países latinoamericanos.
If
me
they
imagino.
don't have an ID, they can go to the consulate and obtain what is called matrícula consular.
Nosotros no serían fidedignos esos, ni serían confiables, porque sabemos la corrupción que hay en los países.
And those kind of IDs are not really, you cannot really trust them because you know all the corruption that is in our countries.
Nosotros no nos oponemos a la seguridad. Claro que queremos que nuestros hijos sean seguros también.
We're not against the security, the safety of our children. We want that for them.
Pero también tenemos que ver que el personal escolar también pueden ser ofendedores sexuales.
But also we have to know that also the staff can be sex offenders.
No nomás los padres.
Not only the parents.
Ha pasado aquí en Moreno Valley.
That happened before here in Moreno Valley.
Recientemente se suspendió un maestro en la Moreno Valley High School, maestro de banda.
Recently, there was a teacher in one of the high schools, the Moreno Valley High School,
fue maestro de banda.
that he was a band teacher, and he was suspended
Por dudosas actividades.
because he had
Entonces sí
activities.
tendríamos que primero investigar el background del personal de la escuela, maestros,
We
coaches.
should investigate the background of all the staff at the school, teachers, coaches.
No nomás investiguen a los padres.
Not only investigate the
No nos
parents.
oponemos a eso, pero el personal, hay que limpiar primero la casa.
We're
Después
not
ver para afuera.
against that, but first we have to clean the house and then look outside.
Porque los que mayormente están más tiempo con los hijos o con los estudiantes son maestros, coaches
Because
y
the ones
personal
that
de la
spend
escuela.
more time with our students are the teacher, coaches, and staff.
No, como le digo, entonces ha habido casos, hace 2 años también en la escuela Moreno Valley pasó
There's
un caso
been several cases. Also, 2 years ago at the Moreno Valley School, there was a case
de depredadores sexuales, un coach.
it was a coach that it was a sex
de los cuales
offender,
ustedes tuvieron conocimiento.
and you knew about that.
Lo protegieron.
You protected
y
him,
no debían de haberlo protegido.
and you shouldn't do that.
Y también tuvimos un miembro del board,
And also, we had a member of the board,
Mike Ríos, que
Ríos,
ahora está en la cárcel.
that now he's in
Y también
jail.
por cuestiones sexuales.
And also
Entonces
because
primero hay
of
que limpiar la casa
sexual issues.
y después ver para afuera.
So then first we have to clean the house, the home, and then look outside.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Marisol Quintero? Oh, this year's.
Buenas noches, miembros del board,
Good evening, members of the
padres y
board,
estudiantes
parents and students,
y público en sus casas.
and also to the public at home.
Yo estoy aquí para inconformarme
I'm here to not, because I'm not agree,
porque en la preparatoria Moreno Valley
because at the Moreno Valley High School,
el paquete de eventos para los graduados
the packet of the events for the ones that are graduating,
primeramente tiene un costo exagerado.
first of all, the cost is exaggerated.
Yo no sé si se está haciendo negocio o no pueden buscar mejores precios.
I don't know if you guys are like you're doing business with it, or if you cannot find better prices.
Ya que la mayoría de los padres
Because the majority of the parents
en esta área somos de bajos recursos.
around this area, we have economical problems.
Además, les están exigiendo que mantengan un 95% de asistencia.
Plus, there is a requirement for them to keep 95% of attendance
A los estudiantes.
for the students.
Yo no me opongo a que haya asistencia perfecta, ¿verdad?
I'm not against the perfect attendance,
Pero no es bueno de la manera que están haciendo esto,
but it's not right the way they're doing this.
porque se les está prohibiendo asistir a eventos a los que se van a graduar
Because they're not allowing them to go to events. This to the students that are graduating.
y esta póliza nosotros preguntamos cuando dieron la plática
And this policy, when there was some kind of a conversation about this, we asked.
y dijeron que aquí ustedes los del distrito la habían puesto.
They told us, we were told that you here from the district set this policy.
Está a mano en la hoja donde firman los padres para los eventos.
Is a handwriting over here on the paper the parents sign for the different kinds of events.
Yo no creo que una póliza formal se haga así a mano,
I
¿verdad?
don't think the formal policy should be like that, just like handwriting, with the handwriting.
Esto perjudica a los jóvenes porque
This-
los estresa más
this
de
really
lo que ya
affects-
están ahorita en su grado 12.
This affects the students even more than what they already are. Right now, they are in the last.
Además, muchos
in
están
the grade
buscando
12.
un lugar en el colegio o
Plus-
están empezando a trabajar.
A lot of them are looking for a place at the college, and some of them are starting to work.
Y esto los hace que no piensen bien en el futuro.
And this makes them not think clearly about the future.
Nos dijeron que era un privilegio que asistieran a esos eventos,
We were told that it was a privilege for them to attend these events.
pero yo pregunto que sería un privilegio si ustedes, el distrito o la escuela les pagara los eventos. Porque
But
los-
I ask myself, I think it's a privilege if you or the school will pay for these events for them,
porque los padres están pagando los eventos.
because the parents are the ones paying for the events.
Yo pregunto quién puso esta póliza de asistencia
I'm asking who set this policy regarding the attendance,
y que si los maestros, funcionarios o empleados o
And if-
usted mismo, doctor Ketziora,
and if the teachers or the staff or even you, Dr. Kitsurah,
no mantiene el 95% de asistencia al trabajo,
if you don't keep 95% of attendance to work,
se le quita su sueldo,
do they take away your salary?
que es bastante lo que ganan.
That is a lot what you make.
Yo pienso que en esta época que ustedes están diciendo que quieren apoyar a la juventud,
I think that in these times when you're saying that you want to support the youth,
deben de motivar a los jóvenes
you should motivate the youth
en vez de que les quiten la convivencia con sus demás compañeros,
instead of taking away that relation that they could have with the rest of his,
ya que es su último año que van a cursar.
because this is the last year that they're going to be at school.
Y si esto van a estar haciéndolo
And if they're going to be doing this,
antes de que se inscriban o cuando se vayan a inscribir, lo pongan en la póliza para que los padres sepan.
before they register or when they're going to register, this should be put in the policy so that the parents are informed.
Y los jóvenes no salgan dañados por no poder ir a los paseos.
And that way the students are not like, because they cannot go to the
Aquí
field trips
les
or
dejo
to the
una copia
events.
para ver
They
si
get harmed.
para ver si ustedes fueron los que pusieron esta perfecta asistencia del 95%.
I'm going to leave this copy here for you to analyze and see if you're the ones that set up the
Y
policy of the
les pido
95%
que tomen
attendance.
más consideración
And I'm
para los
asking you
jóvenes,
to please take this into
que no
consideration
hagan
for our
pólizas a
youth,
la ligera.
and don't make just policy,
Esta no es manera de tratar a los jóvenes.
This is not a way to treat
de
the
traer-
students.
Pueden buscar otras alternativas.
And other alternatives can be
Your time
found.
is up. Angelica Torres and Helga Torres.
Sí, buenas tardes, miembros del board,
Good evening, members of the board,
estudiantes, maestros y comunidad.
students, teachers, and community.
Yo quiero compartir un testimonio de cuando yo asistí a la junta de la high school de la Moreno Valley.
I want to share with you a
Mi
testimony
hijo-
that when I went to the meeting in Moreno Valley,
Mi hijo se va a graduar este próximo año.
my son is graduating this next year.
Mi comentario con los maestros es un poquito retocar lo que la señora Marcela
My
dijo.
comment with the teachers, it was a little bit about the same thing that Mrs. Marcela said.
Yo le comentaba a ellos que el concepto de privilegio, no sé qué tipo de privilegio están
I
utilizando.
was making the comment about the concept of the privilege because I don't really know what kind of a privilege they're using.
Existen varios y hay uno que se llama el privilegio de remuneración.
There's different ones, and there's one that is called remuneration privilege.
Es donde una persona hace una acción y se le concede un premio o se le otorga algo por haber hecho algo bien.
Is when somebody is doing something right and then they give them an award because they do something right.
Existe otro privilegio que es el privilegio odioso.
There's other kinds of another privilege that it has to do with hate.
Que es una acción que se comete perjudicando a terceras personas.
That is an action that is committed and it's against other people.
Mi preocupación es que muchos de los padres, como ustedes saben, las escuelas aquí están llenas de estudiantes latinos.
My concern is that, like a lot of the parents, and like you know, the schools are full of Latin students.
De hecho, tienen un nivel económico un poco bajo donde no pueden ellos pagar este tipo de eventos.
They actually have the level is like a low income and they cannot even pay for these kind of events.
Mi hijo me ha preguntado a mí, gracias a Dios es buen estudiante, pero me ha preguntado qué es ese concepto de privilegio
My
y por
son
qué.
asked me before, thank God he's a good student, but he asked me what is that concept of a privilege and why.
Entonces él me pregunta que por qué el distrito no otorga algún dinero para que ellos puedan asistir a estos eventos.
So he's asking me that why the district doesn't give some kind of a money so that they can attend to these events.
Mi pregunta sería, si ustedes como gente profesional y con ética
My
les
question will
preocupa
be like you people that are professionals and with ethics.
que me imagino que están preocupados por la educación de nuestros hijos.
I imagine that you're worried for our children's education.
¿Por qué no buscamos una alternativa de cómo ayudarlos a mejorar en sus
Why
calificaciones?
don't we look for an alternative to help them to be better on their grades?
Hacer otro tipo de eventos que nos puedan permitir a los padres
Do other kinds of events that allow the parents
para recopilar, no sé, dinero para que estos estudiantes puedan tener
so that
este
we can put money
privilegio.
together, or I don't know, so that these students can really have this privilege.
Yo espero, ¿verdad? Que ustedes nada más tomen en cuenta mi testimonio
I hope
de mi
that you,
preocupación,
take
que como
into
latina
consideration that I'm worried, and that as a Latin woman,
muchas veces somos personas que por falta de información se nos dicen fácil conceptos que
many
no
times,
son los correctos.
because we're not well informed, there's different concepts that are told to us and that they're not the correct ones.
Y pues nada más
The right
esa es mi pregunta.
And that's only my
Si
question.
ustedes pueden otorgarnos a los estudiantes y a los padres de
If you can
familia
give the
alguna
students
forma
and the parents some kind of a way
de cómo ellos puedan asistir a estos eventos.
on how they can attend these kind of events.
La asistencia del 95% sabemos que es de hecho una responsabilidad de cada uno como individuo.
Not 95% of attendance, we know that is responsibility of each one as an individual.
Mi hijo se siente un poquito, dice que todos los días le repiten lo mismo, hasta por micrófono en la escuela,
My
que
son,
deben de cumplir el
feels like
95% de asistencia.
every day they repeat everything the same, even through the microphone at school.
Como-
That they must have 95% of attendance,
como si fuera un contrato.
like if it was
Y no
a
debe de
contract.
ser así.
And it should not be like that.
Es todo.
That's all.
Buenas noches.
Good evening.
Abraham logo? I may be mispronouncing it. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce it correctly. How do you pronounce?
Jabron Lugo.
Who?
Jabron Lugo. Oh.
Jabram.
Hello.
Okay, thank you.
You could stand on that side, Neil. On that side.
You've been waiting a long time.
Just bear with us.
No, that's okay, take your time. You've been waiting a long time.
Yes, we have.
Yes.
Okay, put your hand down, sweetie.
Members, Hello, members of the school board, Moreno Valley staff, parents and families, friends. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you this evening. I am happy to represent the action program and speak about the Rally Around Fitness Day. It is a wonderful opportunity for us to show what we can do. Please come join us on April 13th at Marsh Mountain High School. Thank you.
Yes.
Do you have any questions?
Do you have any questions?
Any questions? Please allow me to speak first. Congratulations to you guys, especially our instructors, our teachers, who's worked so diligently with you guys. I can see the excitement. And when I first came in, the gentleman with the black shirt and he and I were joking around. I didn't realize you're going to be waiting that long, but so thank you for doing that, and thank you for keeping everybody calm. But thank you guys so much for working so hard to bring this to us so we could see the fine work that you guys are doing over there. And again, for all the instructors, you guys are doing a fantastic job. So thank you very much. So I'll open it up to see if my colleagues want to say anything.
We're going to check the calendar, and hopefully it's open so that we can join. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, don't leave. We're not done.
Sorry.
I know you want to get home, but Mrs. Smith, you have anything you want to?
I'd just like to say thank you for your presentation. I'm looking forward to your Rally Around Fitness event, so thank you for coming tonight. We should have had them up with the awards students, but we didn't know.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you for coming and for waiting.
Don't leave. Mr. Barr, he might have something to say. I don't know.
Well done.
Great. And where is she? You can ask. We
Dr.
want you taking pictures.
Dr.
We want you to come
Nakama,
up.
would you please come introduce the staff
Yes,
that's here
please.
tonight? And would you please come to the microphone and please introduce the staff
Give
and the
someone
people
else
that are
your camera.
here?
They can take pictures for you.
You've already captured a lot, so you're good.
I'm very fortunate to work with such a great group of people and the support of Mr. McMurray over at March Mountain. But Mr. Cole is one of our teachers over at the Action Program and has done a fabulous job. We have Tammy DeBobian here on the left of me. Two teachers, Kelly Smith and Miss Atienza was unable to attend tonight. And then we also have the support of the instructional aides that came tonight. Denisha, can you stand?
Are they still here?
Denisha's over there.
Oh, okay.
And then
Why isn't she standing up?
Julie Cremor.
Why are you sitting back there?
Come on up. Come on up.
Yeah, Chris, can we get a picture of them
Thank
as well?
you so much.
No, don't leave yet. We want to get a photo of this.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You've got some
Valerie.
bashful people.
Valerie was here too.
Yeah, look at that. They're
Where's
standing up in the
Valerie?
back.
Sorry, Valerie.
Come on up here.
And then our parents have to stand because they made the effort to bring the kids over. Come on up, parents. But I was fortunate last year to be able to attend the first rally that they had, and it was fabulous. And so they've really worked to grow this event. So we hope you can make it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So, Chris, are you going to take pictures? I don't know, it's a little late to start, Can we hear him without the mic? I mean, he's.
In future, you can make it this event more orderly.
Well, yeah. Point well taken.
Miss Bender, could you come up here and be with this is part of your program in special education, and would you join them up here? Miss Bender is the executive director of the SELPA for our district. He didn't see all them here.
Well, congratulations and thank you guys again. And thank you for your patience. I know the students are happy because now they get a chance to stay out longer, late. There you go. Thank you. You're quite welcome. Okay,
Yes,
well,
yes.
we'll ask the kids because I think they like to be last so they could get more time. Okay, next up is Lindsay Robinson. Here she is. She's been waiting patiently. Thank you for waiting.
This is a quickie. Good evening, board and audience and staff and whoever. I'm a member of the community of Moreno Valley Arts Now. It's a new group, and I'm just here to thank the school board for recognizing the importance of the arts in schools and taking action to form this group that's school board members, school employees, and community members to bring arts to every level, students in all school grades. So thank you very much. I know you get beat up a lot, so I'm here to say something positive. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I grew up with music. I play in the Wind Symphony, and I'm an arts commissioner and now part of your Arts Now. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Board, if you don't mind, let's turn to page 80. I should have done this one a lot earlier, and I don't know, but there's only two people, but I don't know if they're here or not. Is Mr. Tim Lyons here? I'm not sure if I saw him. And what about Carrie Thin? I'm not sure if I saw her either. Okay, well, since we...
Is that
Yeah,
the
they're
people
not
that
here.
he's supposed to be calling? Yeah, Mr. These people here is who you want to ask for.
Okay, these right
And the
here.
first one's not here, but you want to ask them because
Ross.
we're voting on them.
Okay, these right here?
Ross
Oh, well, Alicia, okay, Ross Nakatani, is that person here?
He's back there.
Oh, there he is.
Ask him to come up.
Come on up, sir, please. Christina Sanchez, is she here? And what about Adam Sinner? Come on, sir. LaShonda Tillman? Is that person here? Okay, well, let me get some administrative work out of the way first. I would like to entertain a motion to accept the appointment of the Citizen Bond Oversight Committee.
Mr. President, I move we approve the list of proposed members of the Oversight Committee as presented.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Mr. Barr. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Holkey.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye. So we have four ayes, no nays, no abstention, and one absent. That motion carried. So, with that being said, we'd like to thank you guys for your continued work with us on the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee. You guys are already on it, right?
No.
Oh, you.
They're the new people.
new folks, okay.
Do you want to, would you let Tana?
Yeah, well, let me turn it over to Tina. So,
Yeah, good evening. Thank you for being here and putting your application in to be on our Citizens Bond Oversight Committee. And we will get the first meeting going in January. So we're very excited and really appreciate you stepping forward and bringing your expertise to the committee. So thank you very much.
Do you want to,
Before you guys sit down, is there any, these guys have a very tough job. Anything from the board that we want some insight on what they're going to be doing, or some things that they need to look out for? And
Well, I just would like to say that we appreciate your willingness to volunteer to go over the expenditures that we make regarding the bond and making sure that we fund the things that we're supposed to and don't fund the things we're not supposed to. You review things after we have done it, so it would be important if you see something that's wrong that you let us know. Thank you so much for your time.
anyone else?
Yeah, I just want to say that this is a requirement, this is an obligation from the district because we have the bond. But I want to say in this particular case, I strongly believe that this board sees it more than an obligation, an invitation to the community to be present and to learn about the bond and to guide the committee and the entire district on how the work is being done. I believe is a step towards more transparency in the district, and I truly appreciate your willingness to be part of that. It's very important for us, but again, I don't see it not as an obligation, but more as an invitation and appreciation for you being part of our district family now. Thank you so much.
Mr. Boyd, you want to go? Okay. Please allow me to thank you guys again for volunteering to help us. You've got a pretty tough job. I hope you guys like to count and you like to be held accountable. That's not a problem there at all, because I know you wouldn't be volunteering if you were not like that. But a word of caution, just know that we appreciate you guys volunteering. You're not getting paid for what you're doing. Because when people volunteer, sometimes they may get a little agitated and say, you know what, there was a movie I think was called Take This Job and Shove It. Please don't ever take that attitude. The job that you're doing is worthwhile. A lot of folks in the community are counting on you. So no matter what comes, please just stay on it. And if you need any help, make sure you come to us. Tell us what's going on, and let us know what we can do to help you. We'd much rather you do that than to listen to some other things that may not be what you want to hear. But you always have us that's going to be backing you, because after all, you're helping us, the district, and the entire Moreno Valley Unified School District community. So again, thank you very much, and we're looking forward to you guys really helping us to grow and balance the things that we're doing as far as our finances are concerned. Okay? Thank you again. Stephen, another hand. Okay, so now we're on page 14. We'll catch up. Page 14, consent agenda. Can I get a motion on that one, please?
I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Okay, can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, Mrs. Smith, call for the vote, please.
Mr. Hoagie?
Aye.
Mrs. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Baugh?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye, so we have 4 ayes, no nays, no abstentions, 1 absent. That motion carried. Now we'll go to our educational services action items on 69. Give you guys a chance to find that, please. This one talks about student discipline cases. If you've got it, I'd like to entertain.
I move that we approve the student disciplinary cases as presented.
Okay, we have Mr. Barr. Can I get a second, please?
A second.
Okay, we have Mr. Hoageen. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Hoagie?
Aye.
Mrs. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Baugh?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye, so we have 4 ayes, no nays, no abstention, 1 absent. That motion carried. Now let's go to business services action items on page 76. Amendment to signature authorizations. As you all know, that we had an employee by the name of Josie Ripoli who retired, And so we're going to be replacing.
Removing her.
Yeah, removing her. So, can I get a motion?
Mr. President, I move we approve the amended list of
This
signatures.
one is amended, yes.
I'll second that.
Okay, call for the vote, please.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye. So we have 4 ayes, no nays, no abstention, 1 absent, that motion carried. Okay, now we'll go on to our resolution, number 2017-1825, board member absent. So can we get?
Mr. President, I move we approve resolution 2017-1825 as presented.
I'll second it.
Ms. Holguin and Mr. Barr. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Abstain, so we have 3 ayes, 1 abstention, 1 absent. That motion carried. So now we'll go to our superintendent discussion action item. So, Dr. Fitzgerald?
I was asked to place this item on the board agenda for your discussion, and this is the discussion of the regulations allowing the sale, cultivation, manufacturing, or testing of marijuana within the city of Moreno Valley. And this is a discussion item and was placed on the agenda for the board to have a discussion.
Okay, so who wants to open that one up? Anybody have any questions or concern about this one?
Yeah, I think that if we're going to have a discussion, we should just, I think that perhaps the city has already approved marijuana dispensaries in the city of Moreno Valley, but as a member of the school board, we have to be concerned with what's best for our students. We had a community member earlier this evening that expressed concern about the use of marijuana in our schools. We suspend students for marijuana use all the time. One of the biggest reasons we expel students is for use of marijuana and other drugs on campus, but I would say marijuana is probably the primary drug that we do end up expelling students for. We have a no tolerance policy. We have dogs that will sniff for drugs. We have cameras on campus. We are constantly continuing to try and find ways to make it less likely that kids will have drugs on campus. I don't know, maybe we need to have, that's all I have to say. I think that I'm not in support of having marijuana available in the city of Moreno Valley, because I think it will filter down and be more available to students.
Okay, all right. Anybody else have anything there?
Yeah, I have some comments about it. The previous member of the public who commented on it is, we did not know about it until it was in the newspaper. And we had to put it on the agenda. We had only 1 meeting last month. We have only 1 meeting this month. So this really was our first time to be able to discuss it. In the meantime, then the council has approved it apparently. On the 24th, they called a special meeting, and then another special meeting on the 7th of November, and so it is now passed. So it's sort of like shutting the barn door after the horse has gotten out. However, it is the council's prerogative to put this in, but, you know, they say that they're going to put in, 3 more police people. That's about $100,000 for each of those. I wonder how much money they're going to be drawing into the treasuries to pay for that $300,000 plus for the police. I just know that kids don't go in, they can't go in and buy this, but parents can. And therefore it's accessible, and therefore what we see happening is that it gets broken down into smaller bits and dime bags, nickel bags, and so forth and so on. And
I don't know anything about that.
What?
I don't know about dime bags, nickel bags.
In any case, what happens is that it becomes readily accessible, just like kids can go steal their parents' cigarettes and try smoking and things like that. So the council in its wisdom, I hope, would, if now that they've passed it, perhaps have only 1 dispensary not one on every corner like Starbucks or something like that. And I would hope that it would not become more accessible to our students, because it will affect them throughout their life. And to me, it's bad public policy, but we can't do anything about it. It's up to the city. So I would hope that they would at least limit the number that they would approve, and we will continue to have no tolerance. Frankly, it's the state law that we have a no tolerance, and frankly, the state law tells us what punishments are for use of drugs or fighting or carrying a knife or any of those things. So it's important, and I'm sort of sorry that the city decided that they would put dispensary places within our city boundaries. I would have thought they would have been more concerned about the effects on the youth. So that's why I think we should discuss it, but I don't propose that we make any resolution or anything about it, because obviously what's done is done. But I, for one, and apparently Susan as well, are not supportive of having marijuana dispensaries in our community.
What are you thinking, Mr. Hogan? Anything?
Yeah, I think this is a big, huge concern for us and for our students, and it's kind of ironic that tonight we adopted a resolution, the Great American Smokeout Day, which it's smoking marijuana. I think it fits that perfectly, and so in a way we're adopting this resolution saying that we're going to work against tobacco or for tobacco prevention, and we have the programs and we have policies in place, and we have all those resolutions that we have adopted in the past, committing to have a safe tobacco and drug-free schools and communities for all of our students and our families. So I think we need to continue in that trend, which is demonstrated by tonight's adopting of that resolution. So this marijuana thing, I think is not positive for our students. So I just think that we need to continue our policies. We need to continue observing what we have in place. We need to continue our education. And I agree with Mr. Bott that we don't have to have a resolution or anything like that, because we already have it in place. It's already a policy. It's already a resolution, and we have all those documents. But I think that one thing we need to be careful, and hopefully this is one place where we can work with the CDS if they're going to establish these stores or whatever it's called, that they are not close to the schools or not close to the places where the students, go from home to school. And I don't know how you control that, but it's already in the state law.
Yeah,
So
they
we
have
need
to be no closer than 600
feet. Exactly.
That's not very far.
600 feet isn't too far.
And I don't know how you control that, but hopefully we can work with the city and making sure that those establishments are away from those 600 feet. I just have to stress that we need to continue looking at having a learning environment for all of our students at all of our schools, and we also have to make sure that whatever is taking place in our schools, if any, we work to eradicate all those issues.
Yes.
So, this issue is a great concern should be for all of us. And, I just joined Mr. Bob and Ms. Smith, that we don't have to do anything. We're opposed to it, yes.
Okay. I agree with all three, but let me give you a couple of reasons why I agree. First of all, I think the school district as a whole has done a wonderful job in reducing suspensions and expulsions and those types of things because of drugs. And often, and Dr. Ketzior will tell you, I ask just about every time we have a meeting, I mean, how are these kids getting this? Where are they getting it from?
Other kids.
A lot of the kids, I understand, are getting it from home. And we don't even have, a market where you can just go out and buy it. So if we do that and they're getting it from home right now, and we're talking about not just high school kids, we're talking about middle school kids as well.
Even elementary.
Yeah. We did have a case like that too, even elementary. So I bring that up only because now we're going to have more students engaged in an activity that's negative toward them and other students. And we haven't even talked about the cost. We've just installed some new things in our schools to be able to detect certain things that's happening in there. We were able to get some funds for that. But as we go down the road with this agreement, I'm just wondering, where are we going to get the funds to ensure that nothing enters our campuses? Because kids have a way of learning from adults. They know how to sell the little bags or whatever, whatever they sell, and kids are going to always be inquisitive. Again, we thought that we have some security mechanisms in place to detect and to deter. But if we make it easy for them to get it right at home, then they don't have to buy it from the guy on the street. And I'm just wondering, what is, we haven't spoken to anybody. I'm just wondering, what is the percent of the revenue that we're going to be getting in our city? And I don't want to be putting the city council on the spot. That's not my intentions, but I'm just wondering, how much are we going to be gaining, and how will we offset our losses through those gains, if there are any at all? I'm sure there must be some type of gains, or else we wouldn't have gone down that road. So I'm looking at increasing security. We just revamped our security. We're not going to go into any details of some of the things that we've done, but we want to make sure our kids are kept safe in school as well as outside, on the campus and around our school buildings. So I think we've done a great job by going through some trainings, looking at our staff and getting them prepared. And oh, by the way, our students know what's happening as well. So those that had a tendency to bring something in, they've seen some of the things that we have in place. They're going to be deterred to some point not to try it. But again, if it's going to be easily accessible to them, I'm just wondering, have we as adults thought about the ramifications of that? So I don't know if I'm prepared to say that, well, I guess I am prepared to say I'm against it. But I would rather say, I would rather sit down and hear the reasoning why, and how are we going to work as a team to deter not only our adults, but more especially our young people, our students, from engaging in those types of activities that's not meant for them. So we don't have to vote on that tonight, but I think after hearing the three of us, I think everyone knows that we're not for it until we sit down and talk with folks and we find out just how they looked at us and what role they think that we're going to play in the larger scheme of this whole endeavor. Okay, so any other comments? Let's go on to page, I have 81. Staff recommends appointment of citizens, I did this, but I did that one already yesterday. I have my finger on it. Let me go, where am I supposed to go?
82.
Yeah. Yes. Resolution number 2017-1826 for approval of award of contract to NKS Mechanical Contracting for certain additional Proposition 39 work at Canyon Springs High School and Mountain View High School.
We
I'm
need
sorry,
some detail on that.
Yes, where's, Tina, yeah.
Yeah, so this is for a change order for the Prop 39 project that was done at Canyon Springs and Mountain View Middle School. So during the time, this is when we did the Prop 39 energy work, and they did a lot of HVAC upgrades and electrical upgrades. And so during this time, they found that we needed a new boiler at one of the school at Canyon Springs, and also some unforeseen duct work, along with installing the district standard occupancy sensors. So all these things just increase the cost, but again, this is part of the Prop 39 clean energy funds that we get from the state, and it was just part of that project.
$183,000 is a lot of money.
It is, and it was over the 10% change order amount, you're correct.
And this did not go out to bid because you figured that they could do it since they're already experienced working on it?
Since they're already there, yeah, and they have basically the open ceilings and open duct work, having to do the work when they were there.
This was discovered once they started going through it?
Correct.
Why wasn't it thought about before?
That is not something I'm aware of. I'm not sure why.
So have they already done this work?
Yes, this was done over the summer.
So if we don't approve it,
So 183,000.
And it's already done?
Well, actually, I don't know that it's already done. Most of this work was done over the summer, but this change order work, I'm not sure, actually. I'm assuming so, and I'm not sure. This is not something that we like to do, is come to you after the fact, because it's something you need to do at the time.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I would too.
They'd have to be done in order for them to move forward, and so they had to do it right away. Is that what happened?
Yes.
Didn't it have to be done in order to complete the work?
Yeah, it has to be done to complete the work, and we already had some delays because of the work not being done timely. So this was.
Did we have an opportunity to inspect what they were asking us to approve them to do?
Oh, of course. And we have a inspector that we pay to do that, and yeah, this was a big project.
Yeah, so when the inspector inspected it, obviously he said we needed it, but at that point, we just needed to move. We couldn't.
Right, and
talk to us.
I have the cost breakdown in front of me, and over $100,000 was actually requested from our in-house staff. Our occupancy sensors that are a district standard for us, as well as the boiler that needed to be done at Canyon Springs.
How much was just the boiler?
$56,000.
How much for labor out of the 183,000?
I don't have that breakdown. I just have the job that was done, like the occupancy sensors were $53,000.
So I guess if the boiler was 56, that's probably a third. But the other.
Yeah, over 100,000 was just the boiler and the occupancy sensors.
I don't like it, but I think we're stuck in a rock and a hard spot, and I don't like being put in that position. But I would move that we approve it.
So before I call for a second, so when we found out, we had to move immediately, right? So there was no time to.
We did. I mean, at this point, you've got, the ceilings are open, we're under the gun to get the work done before school is back in session. Most of this stuff was done over the summer.
Okay. Well, with a large amount like this, and I'm sure you know, and the entire cabinet knows as well, maybe a phone call or something to each one of us just to make sure that we were on board so we could avoid this. It's not that we don't trust anybody. We know very well that everybody have very good intentions, and this is probably the right thing to do. But I think next time, if there is a way to contact us, then I would do that, because you're looking at 5 people that now you have to explain, and there's some second thoughts, not some second thoughts, but we're thinking, okay, we trust and we believe, but we wish we would have.
Absolutely, and this is something that I've already discussed with the department as well, because this isn't the way we like to do.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
So we'll vote on this thing with some, again, it's because of what we've done in the past and how we've gone about our business, and we know this has to be done. But man, I'm not excited about it, but we have no other choice right now. So, any other questions before I call for a motion, please? Any other comments or questions?
I move that we approve the resolution as presented.
Can I get a second from someone, please? Okay, I'll second it. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Hoagie?
Aye.
Mrs. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Ball?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye, so we have 4 ayes, no nays, no abstentions, and 1 absent. Okay, page 112, we'll go to resolution number 2017-18 for approval of award of contract.
Another change order, a big amount, $94,000.
Yeah.
Talk
This
to
is-
us about that.
This is another change order for the 2 kitchen remodels at Palm and Vista Heights. Palm Middle School, basically, we needed additional site work, adding a guardrail to the drop-off area. One of the things that was not included in the original bid was adding power for the temporary kitchens that both sites had. I don't know if you were out there, but we had to set up temporary portable kitchens at both sites so that they could serve and cook out of the kitchens while we were doing the work. So that was not included in the original bids. We also had some demo.
Should have probably been asked, though, by staff. They should have said, hey, you know, when we shut the kitchen down, we're going to have a temporary kitchen. Therefore, when you put out the request for proposals, it should have been there.
I'm just not sure if there was just not enough power that they didn't anticipate. I'm not exactly sure the reason. But yeah, the additional power was a big part of this. There was also at Vista Heights, along with the power for the temporary kitchen, there was additional electrical upgrades at the temporary serving line. Some of the things during construction we made changes with the site and nutrition services requiring some additional work. And then the site also had, we had to replace some existing restroom tile that we didn't think that we would have to do going in with the original job. So this is for both sites. Vista Heights was $50,000 and Palm was $43,000.
So what kind of funds are these?
This is out of the nutrition services funds.
Okay, so it's not part of the general fund?
No.
What about the previous resolution?
Prop 39 funds,
Oh,
specifically for the energy retrofits and upgrades that we're doing to the sites.
so this is a big hit for the cafeteria fund.
It's
right?
what?
This is a big hit.
No. It's not bad for them.
They have a ton of money over there.
And we're doing a lot of upgrades with nutrition services. Still working on these 2 kitchens and then doing the next 2 kitchens. We're doing a lot of things for them because they do have the money to to upgrade those kitchens.
So what kitchens are we doing next?
Badger and Mountain View.
So will we be prepared for this in advance at those kitchens?
Yes.
Thank you.
So you put it on the request for bids so that nothing gets forgotten, so we don't have to do change orders.
I will make sure that's been done.
I move that we approve it.
I'll second that.
Okay, I'm sorry, call for the vote, please.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye, so we have 4 ayes, no nays, no abstention, 1 absent, motion carried. Now let's go over to the human resources discussion items. Mr. Verde, you have anything you want to bring forth, please?
Just another resolution that we bring just about every meeting, Mr. Johnson, when we're looking at available positions and which ones we need to continue to keep on the books. As they say, this is a vacant position that we are removing from the books. It's a 6-hour position that we're asking the board to approve the elimination of.
Okay.
I recommend we approve it.
I have a motion by Mr.
I'll
Barr
second that.
and seconded by Mrs. Smith. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, aye. We have 4 ayes, no nays, no abstention, one absent. That motion carries. And then we'll go on to page 137, approve amendment 2018-19 traditional school year calendars.
This is being brought back to the board, Mr. Johnson. The board did have a look at these back in September, but after working with the associations and with Ed Services on some updates, we are recommending approval of these updated calendars for the 18-19 school year.
I move that we approve amendment to the 2018-19 traditional school year calendar.
Okay, so we have a motion by Mr. Barr. Can I get a second? Second. Okay, Mr. Holguin. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye. So we have 4 ayes, no nays, no abstention, 1 absent. That motion carried. And, closing comments from the board and the superintendent. So we'll start with Mr. Holguin.
Yeah, thank you. So some of the items that I had prepared to speak about have already been mentioned through the superintendent's report. So I'm just going to go a little faster and very short on those items. And these are activities or a conference or meetings or things that have happened from the last meeting until now. So I just want to share with you some of the things that have been happening. Dr. Quintera's report mentioned about the attendance to the HACU, the Hispanic Association Colleges Universities Conference. The district was well represented there by staff and also parents. So we talked about creating access to higher education through engagement, work being done in the district, and also one of the grants here for English learners. We also were able to attend the California Association of Black School Educators Conference, and the district was represented there too. And it's a way for us to be in, like they say, at the table. So I'm glad to see some of the representatives from the district attending there and listening to the conversations, which are pretty similar to, whatever we talk here and all the concerns about the equity and all those items. So it was good to be there too. We talked a lot about athletics earlier, and Dr. Quintera put all those items in the report. But one item that I missed in the report, maybe you had it there, but I didn't see it, was the Valley View High School volleyball team that went through the CAF playoffs, and then they stopped there somewhere in one of I believe the first round, second round, I forget. But it was also an excellent team, excellent game. So I just want to congratulate also the Valley View High School volleyball team. As you know, I'm a member of the National PTA Board of Directors, so I attended the conference, not a conference, but a meeting. And again, some of the issues at the national level are also the issues at the state level, equity and teacher shortage and increasing parent engagement. So all those items are being discussed at the national level because there are the same issues in every other state, not just in California. Earlier, a member of the community came to the microphone and spoke about the Arts Now community meeting that took place here in our district, and thanks to the active engagement of the school district and the BAPA coordinator, Mr. Greg Solomon, and the work that he's been doing in increasing the access to students to the different pieces or programs in the arts area. So that community, that group of community members has been looking at different strategies to recommend to the district and to put in place to advertise and promote the arts in the district. So I want to say thank you to that group because they're getting very active. And the group just started recently. So that meeting took place in between a conference that was taking place in Riverside, which I attended, and that was through the group Create California. There was a leadership development planning meeting, and the leadership development planning came together to look at the need of having arts educators, arts leaders, arts administrators of color, so Hispanics, blacks, and the other communities, because there is a strong belief that around the state there is a lack of that group in the arts. Mm-hmm. So some of the items discussed there is how do we motivate people to get involved in the arts, all the way from being in school, being in high school, being in middle school, and then becoming teachers of the arts, becoming administrators, getting involved in the arts area. So several strategies there. For example, communicating with the different groups at the state level so that the motivation is there for teachers, for principals, for even board members to get engaged in the arts. And as always, we had the opportunity to showcase the work in Moreno Valley Unified School District. So we spoke about that and how the access to arts education has been increasing in the last couple of years or so, thanks to the BAPA coordinator. But we also had an opportunity to showcase one of our students. One of our students was there the evening, the first day, and you probably have seen him. He was at the Student of the Month breakfast last month, and also he attended the Latino conference, and he showcased. He's in theater, one of the students at Valley High School. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so he did a monologue there, and he impressed everybody because not only his performance in front of the audience, but also because of his personal story that this student talks about how he was being bullied when he started in high school, and then thanks to the art, he was able to open up, and now he is being very successful in theater. So that's one demonstration of what arts can do to our students. So people were happy to see that there. And speaking about the arts, we had the opportunity to attend the Badger Springs Band and Choir concert. Dr. Kitsura was there too. And we were really impressed with the way this group of students, the band and the choir, how they have improved tremendously, especially this beginning of this year with a brand new band director there. He's a director that we had already at another school. He came from Canyon Springs, he moved to Badger Springs, and the program just exploded suddenly. So we're very pleased to see that and very excited to see that development there. Dr. Kazura mentioned about the visit from UC President Jeanette Napolitano to Valley View High School. That was an excellent event, put together very, very professionally, and we were able to listen to her message and also the message from UC Chancellor Wilcox, inviting the students to truly, seriously consider joining the UC system and the opportunities that they have available to even get financial aid, get even free education at the UC system. So they gave a lot of motivational words to the students there in attendance. So I think the messages were very on target, and we're very pleased that Ms. Napolitano was able to visit Valley View High School, like Mr. Johnson keeps saying. She came to this particular district, to this school, and that was not happening anywhere else in the state or in the nation. She was at Valley View High School, so that was a very exciting day. Very exciting day. The same day when Moreno Valley High School was being redesignated as a national demonstration school for AVID. So very great day in the school district. Let's see. Of course, we talked about the Valley View High School football games. We went there last Friday, and we're going to be there again this coming Friday. Two teams advancing to the next round, Valley View High School and Moreno Valley High School. So we're going to go and support Valley View, but we support both teams, of course. So hopefully we can continue, that trend, and they advance to the next round. Being at the water polo game Saturday was really exciting, going to Irvine, and I have to be honest that never in my life had I seen a water polo game. So it took us a little bit to understand what was happening, but once we got it, we knew who our team was. So that's what we were cheering. And like Dr. Castillo said, we learned when to stand and when to clap and all that stuff. So that was really
water,
good.
right?
That was really good. And then there was a lot of water. So anyway, so that was exciting to see our team winning and a lot of great students, excellent students. And I was mentioning to a community member, water polo is not something that we hear here in Moreno Valley that often. I mean, it doesn't happen. And suddenly be on top, that's just outstanding and amazing. With all the challenges that they had without the pool and being able to practice outside the water and in the gym, it was just a remarkable job that the coach and the students did. And of course the support from the families too. And there was a lot of people there in Irvine. I was surprised with the amount of people in attendance, so that was great. And then, let's see, yesterday the LCAP Advisory Committee meeting, I think it was an excellent meeting attended by probably about 75 people there in attendance from all different sectors of the community. So that was something that the LCAP, the Local Control Accountability Plan, requires to have members of the community involved. And it was good to see all that interaction with all the members, all the information provided by Dr. Katsura and his team. It was just an excellent meeting, excellent gathering. And I believe people were satisfied with the information and they were happy with everything they got. Well, great explanations on the different pieces and where the district is going. So I think we continue having the support from the community, and that's one of the things that I like about the LCAP, that not only are you required to engage the community, but you get the community to support the district's programs. So that was great. And then this morning we attended the Student of the Month breakfast at Sizzlers in Moreno Valley, and once again we saw students that talked about their personal stories, outstanding students, their personal stories, and then the comments from the parents, which is one thing that I really like about this new format of the program. It's now a breakfast instead of a lunch, and now the breakfast allows the parents to speak also in addition to the students, and to listen to the parents and to listen to the students and the challenges that they have had, all the struggles that they've gone through, and then they become the best student of the month for that particular high school. It's just outstanding. And several people were in tears this morning because, listening to those stories. So that's an excellent program. And I just want to say congratulations to the students and to the families, because not only because they're at the top, but because everything that they went through to get there. So looking forward to the upcoming months, and then the Student of the Year at the end of the school year. I already mentioned about the football game. There's a couple of things coming up. December 2nd, we were invited to a conference in Fresno. The California Association of Bilingual Education is having a one-day conference in Fresno to talk about dual immersion programs. And We were invited because Moreno Valley has a dual immersion program, so they want to hear from us. So we'll be there representing the district. Also, again, going back to the arts, Los Angeles County Arts Commission is having a one-day conference in Los Angeles on December 8th. We were invited to participate in one of the panels. Mr. Solomon and I were invited to participate. And then last thing, December 13th, we're going to have the Riverside meeting of CABE here in the district at Ramona Elementary School, December 13th in the evening. And this is open for parents and members of staff and whoever is available that evening to join. We'll talk about the latest updates in CABE and the Riverside area. So that's all I have for now. I just want to say again, congratulations to all the recipients of any awards this evening, and thank you for having that discussion about the marijuana and the smokeout and the American Indian resolution. That was great. So thank you for that. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Oh, well, I don't have nearly as much to say as Mr. Holguin, but I also went to the UC event at Valley View High School. I was impressed with the students that were there. I think if you saw the slide, you saw that Janet DiPolitano was sitting around before the meeting really got started talking to some of the students, and they had some very good questions for her, and were able to get their questions answered. And I thought that was a nice opportunity for our students to meet someone like Janet Napolitano that everyone kind of looks up to, the president of the UC system. Also, Dr. Wilcox, the president of UCR, was there. There was a large contingent from UCR there as well. One of the things he talked about was financial aid for students attending UC system schools. Of course, he was hoping you'd come to UCR. But he said if you have a family income of up to $80,000, that they could get you a full help for full tuition. So family income up to $80,000, he can help, the UC system can help you with full tuition. And he said if your family income is up to $150,000, between 80 and 150, they can get you partial tuition help. So those were higher numbers than I thought. So I was glad to hear that students, even who are not maybe below the poverty level, but a little bit above that, can also get financial help. So I think most of the students in our district would fall into one of those categories. So I was pleased to hear that that help is available for our students. The reason they came to Valley View is because we have so many students at Valley View that apply to and attend UC schools. So that was the reason that Valley View was singled out, not just picked out of a hat, but chosen because of our commitment to UC and the number of students that we have going to UC schools. Also at the LCAT meeting, which you know, I knew there would be members of the community and different people from the school district and different representatives, but I was also happy to see students there, and that different schools were, high schools were represented with student representatives. So that was great to even have input into the LCAP from student representatives, and to have them understand how our schools are funded and how we spend our money and what the suspension rates are and the other information that, you know, even students are involved in this. So that was great. I'm glad to see that our expulsion rate is going down. Expulsions depress me. Every meeting we have some. We had some tonight. And it's something that as a board member, as a parent, you know, I don't like to see our students being expelled. I don't like to see, they need to be expelled because the things they do have required that. And we don't really have any choice. But I hate to see our children making these choices and choosing not to follow the rules and to get involved in some of these things that they really shouldn't be involved in. So, you know, I know that once they're expelled that we do have other educational opportunities for them, and I'm glad that we have that and that we can provide for them. And I'm always happy to see students that have been expelled coming back to our schools. One of the things we talked about at the LCAP was the Chromebooks for All program. And I was happy to see that not only are we distributing Chromebooks to all students, but also there are many places in Moreno Valley that have free internet access. So if your student brings home a Chromebook and you don't have internet at home, there are many, many places throughout our city that your student can go, possibly within walking distance of their house, that they can take that Chromebook and look things up and work on homework if they need internet access. I knew a young woman a number of years ago, and she had a laptop of her own, but no internet access at home. And she said, oh, when I need internet, I just go down to McDonald's and I do my homework there. And so she was happy to just have a place where she could go get internet access, and I'm sure our students will be finding those places too. So I think Dr. Kadziora had put out a map for us of places in Moreno Valley that have free internet access. Is that available on the website?
Yes, because
Good.
it's part of the LCAP, and when we have a meeting, that information goes on the website.
Good, because I think that then parents can easily look up someplace close to their house. There were a number of places in my neighborhood. So if I get tired of using my home internet. So kids in my neighborhood can go get internet access too, so that was great. Also, the same day is the UC thing. I met with a man who was evaluated on our Head Start program. Icy, is that a first name or a last name? I don't know. We just called him Icy. Probably one of those one-name people, right? And one of the things he said to me was how impressed he was with Carol Boynehill and the things that she does for our Head Start program. He said, I just can't say enough good things about her. I have never seen a director of elementary education that's so involved with the Head Start program. So he had... in my discussion with him, he had many good things to say about Carol, and I appreciate that and all of her hard work. Head Start is something that I feel very close to. I started my education career as a Head Start teacher. A lot of people don't know that. But my first teaching job was teaching Head Start on Mille Lacs Reservation in Minnesota, on the shores of the Mille Lacs Lake. And I taught Head Start there. I had not finished college at that time. I had 3 years of college, and then I had dropped out to get married, and then I taught Head Start, and when I came back to California, then I re-enrolled in college and was able to finish my degree. So I think Head Start and other preschool programs are so important for our children, especially for some of the children in our community that come from homes that might be considered disadvantaged, where they don't have books and they don't have access to other educational opportunities at home, not because their parents are not concerned about their education, but because perhaps their parents just don't have that available because of financial, or they just don't know what to do. So I'm glad that we have those programs available for our kids here in Moreno Valley. So thank you, Carol, and thank you to all of our Head Start team and our preschool teachers. Thanks.
I want to be sure I understood what the citizen talked about on their complaint about the 95% requirement in order to participate in certain extracurricular activities, and the costs, that it's no cost if you attend at 95%, or there is a cost if you're less than that. Could you explain that a little bit for me?
Well, I'm going to have to look at what the document is that she shared, because it's a school it's Moreno Valley High School, and I'll need some time to investigate and look at what they talked about.
As a principal, not a PAL, but PLE, I think that it's wise to create incentives for people to achieve so that they can have certain privileges, and it's available to anybody who can meet those standards. So I don't have a problem with that. And as far as paying goes, I think we do a lot to help students be able to afford to do things. It's not like that the poor people can't go to anything. We have lots of things that don't cost any money to go to.
Mr. Ball, one of the things when the lady was speaking tonight about it being a privilege, sometimes in the when people are translating words, the way they sound, like you talk about privilege, that means like you're privileged, like I'm privileged, I live a privileged life. But that's not the same kind of privilege that this is. But I think that's where some of this, and we need to have a discussion about that at that school with some of these people to really understand what we're meaning by that. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I was touched at the breakfast this morning, in particular to the non-traditional high schools and the kids as they talked about things. And it was overwhelming to me to see parents expressing their love for their son or daughter and the emotions that were expressed, how difficult it was for sometimes the kids to tell our story, but they certainly got a story from their parents on how much they appreciate them. So whoever came up with all the changes to the Student of the Month luncheon, I applaud them because they were all great things. Mm-hmm. I was just really impressed with the effort. I'm sorry that I had to leave a little early. I had another engagement and was not really dressed appropriately for that event. I apologize. But when you moved it from Wednesday to Tuesday, then you got me as I was. And with regard to the marijuana, I would hope that the City Council would be wise enough to, now that they have approved it, to limit it and to have it a lot further away than 600 feet from any place where there are kids. But I am not such an idealist to look through rose-colored glasses and say it's not going to affect our kids. It will affect our kids. And when and oftentimes we talked about expelling students. We really don't expel students. They are taken from the schools where they are and reassigned to the alternative schools so that they can continue their education. It's not a matter of kicking them out of school and having them sit at home doing nothing. And I think there's a misperception sometimes that we are expelling kids. Well, we're just they lose the privilege of being in the school where they were causing trouble, and they have to go to an alternative school. And sometimes those alternative schools are the best thing that could ever happen to them, because they're smaller classes, more individual attention, and oftentimes vocationally oriented, and the kids really thrive in those classes. And we have a great staff in these alternative programs, and I'm really glad that they're included in the Student of the Month luncheons. And again, I express my sadness on the passing of Mrs. Johnson, and I'm confident that she's with God. Thank you for sharing her with us while we have been on the board together.
Thank you.
That's all.
I had a talk with Mr. Hogan, and I gave him 14 of my minutes, so I will only use 1 minute. And I'm going to deviate from what I usually do, but I have a poem that I'm going to read. I was supposed to spend the rest of my life with you. And then I realized you spent the rest of your life with me. I smiled because I know you love me till the day you went away, and will keep loving me till the day we're together again. It's yours.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. I promised the young lady from Valley View High School tonight, she left something on each of your chairs. about Mu Alpha Theta. And they've restarted the chapter at Valley View High School, and this is a big deal because this is an honor society for mathematics. And when I was in high school, we had Mu Alpha Theta. So when I saw this, I said to myself, this is another indicator of the improvement of the performance of students in our schools to have a chapter of Mu Alpha Theta for advanced mathematics. So she said she wanted to remind everybody that on Friday, November the 17th, they're having a meeting at 4 p.m. in the library, and they'd like for you to join them. So anybody that's interested in mathematics, I hope you'll join them. But isn't that something that they're going to restart that? I mean, that's huge. And then I want you to know I was at 3 high schools today of our 4 comprehensive high schools. I was at Valley View, Moreno Valley High School, and Vista del Lago High School. And I want to tell you, Tina Dagnall, that I specifically looked for gum on the ground and students throwing gum on the ground, because she's always saying, what do they tell the students? How do they get them not to do it? And I talked to all the custodians, because the board has all talked to me about this, about gum. And so I walked around and I just looked, but I guess when I'm around, they don't spit it out because I didn't see one kid do it. And I asked the kid, how does this get there? And they said, well, I think that adults do it over there. And I said, well, I don't think so. But we're really trying to make our schools look better. And, I want to tell you, at all 3 campuses today, and I'm going to be at Canyon Springs on Thursday, the student behavior was amazing. I wish you'd go visit. Ulysses Cabrero, for our city councilman, has scheduled visits at each of our high schools, and he was at Vista del Lago today. And the students, the behavior was just amazing, outstanding. And then at Moreno Valley High School, I really feel bad, and I want to say this because I didn't say this in my superintendent's report, but they were redesignated as a National Avid Demonstration School, and that's huge. And I'm very proud of them, and we all should be. So would y'all clap for them? Because they're going to see this later, and hear about it. But at Moreno Valley High School today, they were taping a national program for building assets, reducing risk. And they filmed students there because BAR started in our schools about 4 years ago. It's an I3 grant. And they came to film children there who have, there was a young man, he plays on the football team, named Darian, and he was being interviewed, and I asked him about BAR, and he told me, it saved my life. I wouldn't be here with you today, Dr. Kidziora, if I hadn't had BAR. And so that was a really powerful moment, but it was a clap, yeah. And but that's in 3 of our high schools, at Valley View, Vista del Lago, and Moreno Valley High School. And they want Moreno Valley High School to apply to be a national school for BAR. So in the spring, they will apply for that. And I want to thank the board for your support, because that's in our LCAP. And that really means a lot to a lot of 9th grade children, that when they come to school, they have a connection and an impact at school. That's why our graduation rate, I attribute a lot of that to that. And then on December the 7th, 2 of our middle schools will get visits by National Schools to Watch teams, because our middle schools are improving in what they provide. And Badger Springs Middle School and Mountain View Middle School, they'll both be visited on the same day. So at 3 o'clock that afternoon, there's a public readout, and it's a real intense visit. And I'm going to ask Diane to ask the board to divide up which school they can go to, and the cabinet will divide up, because that's part of the process, being at those schools. But what was even better is that both the schools that submitted the application are receiving visits. So we already have 3 schools that are designated: Landmark, Vista Heights, and Sunnymead Middle. So that would, if these 2 schools get designated, that'd be 5 of our 6 middle schools that are National Schools to Watch. And we're very proud of that, and work really hard to improve the programs there. On Friday night for the football team, I want you to know that Mr. Holguin and myself are going to be at Valley View High School, And I don't know if the rest of the board's going to go to one of the games, but I do know Dr. Verdi, he's sniffling over here, but I think he's going to get well by Friday. But he's going to be at Moreno Valley High School's game in San Bernardino. It's at Aquinas High School. So you can look for him there in the stands, and he'll be. I think he's going to bring his children with him. He's got his own football team. There's 4 of them, and you know that'll be exciting. On Thursday, I'm going to the Optimist Club meeting at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I want you to know my speaker is the young man. I don't know if y'all remember him that spoke at our study session on dual immersion. He and his mother are joining me that morning, and they're going to be my speakers because we have to bring a speaker, and he's going to do a presentation there for them. I went over to Armada and worked with the principal, and what an amazing young man. He's even better than he was when he came to the study session. And he said to me, am I going to get a volleyball or a basketball if this is good? And I said, well, if it's good, you're going to get more than a volleyball and a basketball. So very proud of that program. And then I want to tell you that Saturday night was epic in Moreno Valley. We've never had a water polo team go to the CIF championships. And when they wrote the article in the Press Enterprise, which Chris is going to rewrite another article for them, they've slanted it towards El Rancho and not Valley View. But those kids and that coach are amazing people, and they'll be at the next board meeting. And I just want you to know that what they did really makes us all proud in Moreno Valley. And I went over there to Valley View today and talked to some of them, and you know, they're just very modest, humble young men. And one of them was here tonight, Ian, with his mother and father. But that just amazing what they accomplished. So we're very proud of our students. We're very proud of our community. And I want to thank the board for all their support and the cabinet for all their work. But I just want to thank you for what you provide in this district, because it's truly amazing what's happening.
Thank you. Well, with that, it's 10:15 and the board is adjourned.